hello. We is alive and on the internets. Welcome everybody to the Wednesday night Curse of Strahd campaign. Players, how are we all doing? Everyone's okay? Got a couple of sickly people with the lurgy, but not the corona lurgy, by the way, chat, just the regular lurgy. Well, Michelle was just choking because she swallowed something large, and didn't agree with her. Sorry, Michelle, I had to do it. I had to do it. But yeah, so with that, no one's got any announcements. I don't think we've got anything further to say. We've got the homebrew campaign is starting to heat up a little bit now. We've hit the 50s episode, mid-50s. So we should be seeing some really interesting things happening in the homebrew campaign in the next few weeks. In saying that, when that campaign does complete, we will take probably a week's break from doing anything on the Sunday night and then come back with a couple of just chatting shows where the players, myself, will sit down and discuss the campaign. The players got any questions for me pertaining to the campaign, vice versa. We'll pick out some moments through the campaign that we really enjoyed, or just standout moments for the entire campaign, or just general stuff. Also the chat, you guys will be able to ask questions of us, and you'll be able to tell us or ask us what you wanted to ask about specific moments. Things like, why did Yildri kill Namaris? I know that question's going to come up. So, but yeah, so that'll be the purpose of that. Then after that, we will be doing a multi-shot, not specifically a one-shot, but a multi-shot mini campaign, we're basically calling it. It will probably run for maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 or 4 sessions, depending on how it goes. But Michelle, aka Yanti, aka Fiela, will be running that as the game master for us. Trashman with the resub, 13 months, thank you very much. 16 months, sorry, 13 month streak, holy crap. Thank you for that sub, dude, appreciate it. Yeah, so Michelle will be running that campaign as DM, and everyone you see on here, I think, is playing in it, with the exception of Prote, aka Jackson, will be joining us as well. Then after that, we will be discussing what we're going to do. Baz, aka Hit, has been prepping a Vampire the Masquerade as well. We may look at doing that after the multi-shot. Again, depending on sort of time and what's happening, we're going to sit down and discuss whether we can do it, how long it may run, and all that sort of guff before we make a decision. But that will be that's our rough, loose plans at this stage for the Sunday night campaigns. After that, who knows? I mean, that could keep us busy for the next year or two. So we should be pretty good. So with that, was wait for Pekka to return so we can do the recap from last week. But I hope, chat, you are all doing well and going to sit back and enjoy the show. Episode 7, I believe, we're tonight, of the Curse of Strahd module, which is so far doing pretty good. No one's dead yet, so
one day wizards will make a module called the Curse of Strippers.
Well, we could probably come up with that one.
That's
what do you think the one shot's about?
I've got no idea.
The Curse of the Stripper. Right, so we're all ready to hit the recap. So, last we left off, you had all found your way out of the Death House, or aka Durst Manor, made your way through the streets of Barovia in a reasonably disgusting evening, drizzly, overcast, very dim and dark, While in the inn, you discovered that the barkeep was a very surly gentleman, didn't really smile, didn't really have any customer service skills whatsoever. The owner's much the same, but one man stood out from the rest, as Adok believed him to be someone he knew. This wasn't the case. After some back and forth, he invited you guys to his table, where you discussed how you arrived in Barovia. The letter was handed over, and he confirmed that the handwriting was not that of the Burgomaster of Barovia, which turned out to be his father. So he would probably know whether the handwriting was correct or not. Unperturbed by this, Karnos still was willing to aid Ismark, as he revealed that his sister was indeed the Ireena that was mentioned in this letter, and that he wished your aid in travelling from Barovia to Valaki, which was roughly a 6-hour journey by foot, but it was not safe to do so until the next day. He invited you to his home, where upon approaching the house, many of you noticed dozens of muddy footprints around the grounds, both human and animal. Once inside, door locked up and secure, you were introduced to Ireena, and then after a discussion around the dinner table, it was discovered that Ireena has indeed been attacked by one Lord Strahd, as it seems. She is both tired and lethargic. They both seem relatively uneasy and not so much frightened, but definitely on edge. The attacks on the house nightly had been too much for their father, and he had passed away of a heart attack, it seemed, 3 days prior. The township, or the people of Barovia, not willing to help them bury their father, he has been sitting in their home, or lying in their home for those 3 days. Agreeing to aid them in burying their father before heading off to Valaki the next day, you bedded down for the evening. And during the evening, the procession of the dead was witnessed, as dozens upon dozens of spectral apparitions raised from the Barovian graveyard and started their slow trek towards Castle Ravenloft. They didn't seem aggressive, but you made sure that throughout your watches, you kept a close eye on them to ensure that you were safe. Also, during the course of the evening, Emilia was woken to a very charismatic, tall man in her room. Introduced himself as one Prince Strahd von Zarovich. An intense conversation took place, a dance, and questions asked and answered. Then seemingly vanishing into the shadows. Morning comes, and you all embark on your journey, not before helping Ireena and Ismark carry their father to the graveyard, to the family crypt, where he was interred. Words were spoken, and then you set off. About 30 minutes or so into your journey, you came across the Islis River, which was a small bridge across this river, and this is where we rejoin our group, as you're taking a short breather at the bridge, as Ismark remarks to all of you as he points to the river and says, do not drink the water. By all means, by any means, please, do not drink it. He doesn't say why. He then turns and starts to walk, continually walking, and Ireena follows him after that. Mirabelle.
I look at Emilia and I'm like, Probably shouldn't have drunk that then.
Emily is going to say to Ismark, so if, say, one of us had drunk said water, what does that mean?
It could make you very ill. It may look clean, but many a body has been fished out of the river of late. So chances of you falling ill are quite high. Best not to drink it, I think.
Emily is going to take a swig from her water flask and go, oops, oh.
You don't have to roll a con save. I was going to make you roll a con save, but you don't. Not yet. Soon. No, kidding. And with that, you set off further, following the road out of Barovia. You cross over this small cobblestone bridge. You then enter back into a wooded area. The path winds slowly northward through a heavily wooded area, both north and south. Every now and again you spy a glimpse of the river winding through the trees to the north. After about another 30 minutes or so, Ooh, interesting. Hang on. Once again, I've got to find this thing on my list of stuff. Where are you? You spy at the edge of the forest to the north a small misshapen tree. It's odd. Who out of you has the highest passive perception? Ismark would have spied it. Ireena probably not. What are your passives, guys? Just run through them. 10,
11.
11, 12, Pekka, Emilia. So Emilia and Fibblestib. Cam, what's yours?
9.
9, yeah, so no, you don't see shit. Emilia and Fibblestib and Ismark and Skathis will spy this odd-shaped tree. Suspiciously, well, not suspiciously, surprisingly, very humanoid in shape. Just off the tree line to the north. Ismark sort of stops momentarily and turns and says to you, do you see that? Over there, just beyond the trees. And he points just through the trees. You all stop and look, and it is this point that you all see what he's looking at. It's, like I said, it's probably about 6 or 7 feet tall, but a very humanoid shape with a dark hollow where its face should be. Mirabelle.
I can see knees.
You can see what?
Knees.
Oh.
Are you talking about that tree over there?
Yes, it is not something I have seen before. Very strange.
Yeah, but it's not the same as any other tree, though. There's like multiple trees around.
It's definitely like a lot of the other trees are a lot taller. It definitely stands out as being more human in shape. It's not moving. It's just.
I just thought Adok hasn't seen it, so it's like,
Yeah.
but it's not the same as every other tree.
Well, no, of course, no tree is the same, is it? I think. All three different.
Are you alright, Ismark? You've been hit in the head.
I am fine. Would you like to go have a look at this little tree? It is odd.
Tell you what, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll throw a rock at it. Can I pick up a rock and throw it at it?
Sure. Roll a... What are we going to roll for that? Dexterity. Acrobatics. No, athletics, sorry.
Oh shit. Okay. I was gonna say I got a 21 with acrobatics.
Well, your athletics shouldn't be much different, surely. You're muted again, dude.
Okay, so I got a 0 from the athletics. So that one.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
And that one. Holy crap, what did my thing did a thing. So a natural 1. You pick up the rock and you go, yeah. And it goes about 3 feet in front of you. Ismark turns and looks at you and just, he smiles kindly. He's not, you know, he's probably laughing his ass off on the inside, but he's being kind. And he says, here, let me try. And he picks up a rock and he throws it in the general direction of this small tree. And right as the rock is about to strike the tree sidesteps. Literally.
Time to go, everyone. Let's go right now.
A foot to the left. What are you doing? Adoc's made his statement.
So we'd be aware of this now then.
Yes, you would have seen it all move. Ismark sort of, as point, once he throws the rock, sees it moving, he goes, shit. And stands up straight and reaches for his sword.
Yeah, Carlos draws his shield and axe and says, would everyone like me to check this out?
Yes. Go forth.
Alright, you got my back, I'm going forth. And Carlos steps forth closer to get a better look at this thing.
No problem. Give me 1 second. I just got to bring up Ismark's sheet.
Sodria just sighs and shakes her head and gets her hammer out.
It might not be as bad as we think. Hello, who is that over there? I guess, Zadriel, everyone places if it makes attacky movements.
I'll be pulling out Charlotte and priming her. Actually put a round into her.
Yeah. We're just ready. We haven't attacked her.
I didn't think you needed to reload, Charlotte.
I've got certain ammunition for her.
Yeah.
But I can also shoot her without ammunition.
Emilia.
Emily is going to use mold earth, and she's going to make a chair, and she's going to stand in the chair.
Okay. So with that, as the tree makes its sudden movement, you'll notice a pair of bright greenish yellow eyes in this hollow where its head should be.
Friend of yours, Adoc?
No. Do I look like a tree?
For the 50th time, I also have yellow eyes, you know.
I think this thing has green eyes. Nonetheless, hello, friend. We mean you no harm, unless you mean us harm. Are you friend or foe?
It does not reply.
Maybe we give it some water. Maybe we water it. Maybe it likes, maybe
Give it
that's
water
like
from the river.
So Carlos had steps 10 feet forward. How far from it would we be at this point?
It is approximately 20 feet from the edge of the road.
So 10 feet from me now.
Yep.
It's quite dark, you said, right?
It's overcast. It's not dark, but it's definitely overcast and murky. There's still that thick mist hangs in the air. It does obscure a lot of what's going on, but you can still make the shape out of this creature. Adoc.
Can I? I'd like to, if I could, walk up to Karnos and then cast Friends on myself,
Sure.
and just stand literally right behind Karnos because he's got a shield. But cast Friends,
Okay.
and then go. Yeah, we are not. Me and you, no harm. What? Can you speak?
It makes no movement at this point. Does not speak.
I don't know about you guys, but it's kind of leaving us alone. It does not seem to be angered. Maybe we shall just carry on our path. Have you met anything like this before, Ismark?
No, I've not seen such things. Many strange things happen in this forest, but this is new. Zadriel.
Can I get within 60 feet and do divine sense to see if it's a fey or a
You are
fiend kind of tree?
within 60 feet of it. You're only 20 feet off the road, so
Yeah.
it is definitely within 60 feet. So you can cast divine sense if you wish.
Alright, I cast that and see if it's fey or fiend, basically.
1 second, and I'll tell you. It does not give off any fiendish or fey signature.
Undead? Oh, I didn't think it's undead.
Yeah,
but-
no undead either.
Oh, well, so then I'll just like, hello, how are you? If you don't say anything, I guess we'll be going. And you count to 5. Okay, we can go.
Carlos,
So-
move forward. I want to get closer.
Adult wants to get closer.
Okay, we're gonna have to fight then.
Okay, I actually agree. This is quite. I'll tell you what. I'm just gonna I'm gonna hold on to them and lower my axe, but keep.
Oh, he froze. We have to wait for him to reconnect. There we go.
5
You're
feet
back.
closer.
You're 5 feet closer.
Yes, please.
Are you prone on your belly? You were saying.
No. Just lowering my weapon
Okay.
so it's not in angry position, and just walking forward another 5 feet. So we're within 5 feet of it.
Okay. As you move closer, Adok, you're moving with Karnos?
Yeah,
Oh.
stand right behind him. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll follow.
So you all you move up closer. Who's staying on the road? I know Emilia is. She's got her stool on the road. Mirabelle's staying on the road. Irena's going to stay on the road, and so is Gathus. Ismark inches forward as well. He moves forward. He's now got his long sword drawn. He's standing back a little bit, but he has got his sword drawn. As you move closer, Karnos.
Sorry, just as we move close, Karmas would say, "We mean no harm. We just wish to see what you are," and just so hopefully aware that they're not
The moment you
aggressive.
get within 5 feet, it just lurches forward at you. And we will roll initiative for those that want to be involved in this combat. We'll roll initiative for everyone because you'll all have a turn. So, Karnos, your initiative, please.
That is 16 plus 4, 20, dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Adok,
I got a natural 20, so 23.
23. High rolls.
Nice.
Skatus.
7.
Trust Trashy to bring the roll down. Mirabelle.
I rolled a 10.
A 10. Zadriel.
4.
Oh, wow. Bibble.
10.
And Emilia.
11.
11. Ismark rolled a 15 and Ireena rolled a 13. So Adok, you are atop of the initiative order as you are slowly creeping forward behind Karnos. Karnos states his intentions, gets within 5 feet, and this creature just reaches out with a branchy more claw. Not really a hand, it's just all branches and that, but it's very hand-like. 3 or 4 appendages, and just reaches out for Karnos.
In a rapid succession.
Just really quickly, just one lot of branches comes out. Super
Great.
quick.
I spot Fooblethib and I run straight towards him.
Is that all you're going to do? Just turn and jet?
Yeah, I'll shut myself. Yeah.
So, with extreme fear, you probably let out a little squeak, a little scream as well. And Karnos, it is now your turn.
With his free action, Karnos looks back at him, sort of running, and says, "No, never fear, small girly goblin. I shall handle this." And so the creature has lunged and attacked.
It has lunged at you, yes.
Okay. Oh, man. Okay, it hasn't actually done anything other than lunged. I'm going to
It's lunging out to try and grab you, basically.
It's trying to grab. Okay,
Yep.
So it's definitely aggressive. All right, sweet as. I'm just going to swipe it. I'm going to swing my axe with
Swing your axe.
plus 16, 19.
19 does hit.
And that is, I love it. Plus 4 is 5.
So 5 points of slashing damage.
5 points of slashing damage.
You react as the creature reaches out to grab you super quick, and you manage to not stop the attack, but you manage to slice away a chunk of bark as you attack this creature. Bonus action movement.
Not going to bonus action. I'm just going to move as close as I can to it. It's lunge forward.
You're
I'm
within
gonna
5 feet, yeah. So you're
yep.
basically, I would imagine, now in melee combat.
Yeah, but I
this
just want
creature.
to make sure that Zadriel has room.
Oh, you froze again.
Just moving in to make sure Zadriel gets a good swing.
Okay, cool. So with that, Ismark, you can hear him behind you. He's probably about 5 feet or so behind you. You hear him intake that gasp and just pulls the sword up and surges forward and makes his attack, which is a 2 attacks. He gets one is a nat 1, so that's a critical fail, and the other is a 14, which also misses, unfortunately. So we've got a nat 1 up there, guys, for Ismark, as he strikes forward with his longsword, miscalculating the speed of this creature, and just misses the same appendage you struck out at Karnos. Readies himself to thrust another attack and strikes nothing but small branches and foliage. And you can see he readies himself for his next attack. Up after him is Ireena, who's back on the road with Risha, and she sees the rest of you remaining at the road, and she brings herself in closer to you. She is armed, but you can see she's still feeling lethargic and probably in really no condition to fight. Emilia, it is now your turn. Fibble, you're up after that.
Emily is going to use whatever the heck it was, mold earth, and make a big back thing for her to lean on her gear.
Backrest. Okay, duly
And then
noted.
do nothing.
And do nothing? No worries. Fibblestib, you're up. Mirabelle, you're on board after that.
I'm gonna fire 18 to hit.
18 to hit. Does hit.
Before I resolve damage, I need the creature and Karnos to do a dex save.
Dex save. The dex save of the creature is an 8, so I believe that would be a failure.
Failure.
19 for Karnos. That's a
Karnos
15
passed.
plus 4.
Yeah, Karnos passed with
So,
loads left over.
so what is the result of this?
So the actual musket shot is 15 plus
So it's-
3 points of fire damage.
So the musket shot is piercing damage.
I
believe.
so. Yes. Yes.
15 piercing and 5
How much does
fire.
Karnos take?
Karnos takes nothing because he saved.
Oh, okay, it's not a half or anything.
So you watch as the bullet strikes the bark of this creature, makes a ricocheting sound. It does do damage, but not as much as you would have expected. But the fire definitely ignites a few of the branches and looks like it's done some pretty good damage at this point. Is that your turn?
Yeah, that's it. That's
Mirabelle, is now your turn. You are back on the road. You're about 20 feet away from this creature, but you can see
Right.
it from where you are.
I'm going to go a little bit closer, have a slight panic attack, and cast Burning Hands at first level.
What is the range on Burning Hands? Is it
15 foot.
it's 15-foot cone?
Yeah.
So you move closer. What is the save on that?
Dick save.
Deck save. So Karnos, you'll need to make it as well, and so will Ismark. I can hear myself through your microphone, even dropping my dice. Ismark fails with a natural 1.
And Karnos gets 17 with a +4, making it 21.
So you save, and the creature also fails with a 10. What is your damage?
It is 12.
It's 12 points of fire damage. You need to turn your microphone down a little bit, I think, or talk into it. We're going to have to do something about that because I can hear myself all the time. So the creature takes. Can you mute? Yeah, thank you. The creature takes a substantial amount of damage, but so does Ismark, who takes 15 points of fire damage as you light up the area. Is there half damage on that? Was that a cantrip or a leveled spell? Level 1 spell, so Karnos, you'll take half damage. So you'll take 7 points of fire damage. As Mirabelle steps forward, has a mild panic attack, and then launches forward with a flaming hands with a 15-foot cone of fire. She obviously hasn't mastered her spells somewhat yet and is not quite 100% sure of where her friends are in these situations, and has set Karnos and Ismark on fire. They're not caught on fire, but you're taking some damage. Mirabelle.
As a bonus action, can I throw my water skin at them?
Sure. Roll a athletics check for me to see how well how much water you get on them. 3. You take your water skin and you go to sort of throw the water out of the skin. It comes out of the spout and just goes and doesn't really do anything. It doesn't make it the 15 feet that you would have to try and throw it. So with that, Ismark is sort of, what the hell? Oh my god, I'm on fire! And drops and rolls and to put the flames out. With a natural 1, he would have been set alight a little bit. So he is now prone, trying to extinguish the flames. With that, Skathis, it is your turn, with Zadriel after that.
I'll move into fight.
So you'll move yourself into a flanking position, I would assume, because you got 30.
One of them.
You got 30 feet of movement. It's about 20 feet away.
Well, I have I can do 40.
40. So yeah, you definitely got enough movement to get yourself into position, which gives you an advantageous attack. So I'll give you advantage on the attack, being flanking.
Using the quarterstaff.
Yep.
You said advantage on attack, didn't
Yes,
you?
I did.
16 to hit.
That misses. You strike forward with your quarterstaff, and the creature seems to be moving in such a way that its branches just stop your attack from getting through and finding any kind of real purchase to make damage. So you miss that attack, I'm afraid.
And that's it for me.
That's it for you. Zadriel, you're up.
Alright, I will run up to it and hit it with my hammer for a dirty 20.
Dirty 20, that hits.
And that is 10 damage.
10 bludgeoning damage.
Yes. And can I tell if Carnos or Ismark, who's more
You can
hurt?
definitely tell that Ismark is hurt because he's on the ground prone, probably not too far from your current position, screaming in agony with the flames that he's trying to extinguish.
I'm going to lay on hands for 5 points of healing and touch his shoulder, trying to pat out the
Duly noted.
flames.
And that is your turn.
Yes.
It is now the creature's turn, with multiple targets now in its face. Right, so with that, the creature looks around briefly and then turns and uses 10 feet of its movement to magically step into one living tree within 5 feet. He turns and steps backward towards a tree and emerges 60 feet away from you, emerging from another tree, which you can just make out in the distance. You hear the rustling of the bushes, and you turn, and 60 feet to the northeast, you see this creature move, turn, and then disappear into the fog. Carnos, you will get an attack of opportunity as it turns and steps away from you to reach the tree.
And Carnos will take that attack of opportunity.
So will you, Skatus.
Oh,
Actually,
nice.
so will you, Zedriel. You're within 5 feet, so...
That's
Actually,
a
Zedriel, you will
24
not,
hit.
because you are dealing with Ismark. What was your hit, sorry?
24.
That hits.
I rolled the wrong dice. Hold a second. And 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 slashing damage.
7 slashing damage. And Skathis, your attack.
21 to hit
That hits.
and 5 damage.
5 damage. So that'll be that. So you do not kill it. It manages to escape and disappear into the forest. With that, we are out of initiative. And poor old Ismark, lying on the ground, with Zedriel helping to put the flames out. The flames have now subsided, but he is sitting there, sort of heavy breathing, sort of patting out the last of the smouldering bits of armor. Resheathes his sword, stands up, and says to Zedriel, "Thank you very much. I appreciate. What happened? What set me on fire? I did not see that coming."
Oh.
Mirabelle,
right.
what do you do at this point?
I go over to him and I'm like, I'm really sorry. That was me. I panicked just a little bit, and I'd give you a healing potion, but I don't have one, so I'll just have to try and help patch you out a little bit.
Carlos is patting himself out too, going,
Yeah.
It burns!
We're both patting Ismark.
He turns to you and sort of kneels down to get to your height and says, "You are not very skilled with the spells yet, are you, little one?"
Do you like my wand?
We shall have to maybe practice not close to other people. By yourself, yes?
Alright, I promise not to do that again.
Emilia. You muted, Robert. There we go.
Emilia is going to walk over to whatever the guy's name was. Ismark. And she's going to pull out her water skin. And she's going to uncork it. And she's going to use shape water to make the water of her thing into a long worm.
Yep.
And basically guide it so that the worm goes all across his burning marks.
Nice.
And then back into the water flask.
Nice.
And then go over to Carlos and do the same to Carlos.
And it has a so it has a cooling effect and does exactly what you intended. So that's pretty cool. So again, Ireena runs over to her brother, and Ismark, are you okay? Does it hurt? And she prods it and pokes it a little bit, and he's, of course it hurts. Jesus. And then sort of his, we must keep moving. We don't want to be caught out at night in the woods. Please, let's carry on. I'm okay. And he starts heading towards the road. Ad hoc.
I'm going to walk up to Karnos and I'm just going to say, look, mate, I'm sorry about shit myself. I hope this makes you feel better. I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on him.
Okay.
Yeah. 4 healing.
4, cool. Karnos basically just looks at him and goes, it's quite alright, I'm getting used to it, and I think there's a few of us in this party who, you know, are trying our best, and it's just good to see. Thank you. Oh.
Is that your
What kind of, where'd you get burned at? And then I say, and I pat him really hard on his shoulder. Good job out there. You did a good job. And walk away.
Oh, thank you. You too did a wonderful job. Pat yourselves on the back, just not me.
Emilia, when you stood up to use your shape water, did your chair remain in the road, or did you dissipate it?
I'm assuming that since I can only have 2 things active at a time, and I had 2,
Yeah.
that they would have dissipated.
They would have
themselves.
dissipated. Okay, that's fair call. So I would imagine so also. So I would say no one apart from maybe Mirabelle and Skathis, who remained back at the road, would have seen you form it the first time. So whether you guys say anything or not is up to you. By the time the second part, probably not so much, because you would have then involved yourselves in the combat. Mirabelle.
If I'd seen it, I probably would have looked at her and gone, oh, that's a really neat trick. Can you show me one day how to do it?
Probably. You can respond to that, Emily, if you wish. Because that probably would have been before she rolled into combat.
I would have offered her a seat at the time, but it didn't happen at the time, so I'm going to say nothing.
Yeah, okay. With that, you then set off along the road further. You keep walking, and Ismark just, he's not really saying too much. You can see him and Ireena exchange comments every now and again. You can see him, he's definitely concerned about his sister and her well-being and her current condition. Every now and again he checks the wound on her neck and makes sure that she's warm enough. But for all intents and purposes, they keep walking at this point, not really saying a whole lot to anyone. So if there's anything you guys wish to discuss while you're traveling, now is the time. Emilia.
Emily is going to approach Zadriel and say, we need to talk later. And that's all she's going to say.
We cannot talk now? Do you want to talk now?
It's not that I just don't want to talk in front of other people.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Anyone else? Karnos. Just all jump in here, guys. I'm just looking something up. So you guys do your thing.
Karnos goes over to Adok and he says, Adok, my small friend, or hope maybe friend, whatever. I do not know you could use spells of the healing kind. I don't think I've seen that before. Is it a strength of yours?
You've never heard of like goblin booyah magic?
I have dealt with goblins in the past. The shamans, usually for pain. I did not know they did healing as well.
Yeah, we can do all sorts of things. But I'm not the average goblin, as you can tell. I don't think you've noticed that, but I'm not exactly green. I'm a bit more intelligent as well.
I am starting to pick up on that, which is a good thing. You're a little frightened, a little skittish maybe, but having some abilities that you do, I can appreciate. Nonetheless, I just wanted to thank you again for that mending you did on my burn. Appreciated.
Oh, I mean, that's all right. I guess. Thank you for, I guess, walking with being. This is weird. It's good to know that you're not trying to kill me at the moment. That's all.
Yes, at the moment. Keep it up.
Right. Okay.
I give Carlos a really weird sideways look as if to say, what? And I'm looking at Adult going, what?
Mirabelle, I'm trying to be nice. Is that not what you were all wanting me to do?
Very good, Carlos. Very good.
Just jump in there, Robert. This is your guys' conversation.
Emilia is going to loudly say, I need to make a pit stop. And she's going to turn hard 90 degrees to the left and wander into the trees. And say, she's going to say, don't bother waiting up. I'll be with you shortly. And she's going to wander off and into the trees.
I'm going to follow her.
Yeah, what's your reaction, guys?
Yeah, as you're wandering off, Adult will go, no, look, that's not a good idea, honestly. Don't go alone. Oh, she's fucking gone.
I will follow her, but last time I got in trouble for watching her take a pee as a wolf, so...
You're just a bit weird like that, aren't you, Carlos?
We
I'll
send another girl with her, maybe.
Does anyone have to pee? Oh, there you go. And something smells like shit. What is that?
It's probably me.
Oh.
I think that was probably Adult. Didn't he just have a little bit of an accident back there?
There's a stream of your... Okay.
Don't be so rough on him. He was up the front. He was actually trying.
And at this point, Ireena and Ismark notice that you guys have sort of half stopped with Emilia walking off, and he says, "Where is she going? Must not venture into forest alone. Is there... Oh, God. Someone, please. Go get your friend. It's not safe here."
Okay, I go with Mirabelle.
And he turns to his sister, and you can... can I get everyone that's still on the road to make a perception check, please? As Ismark turns and him and his sister sort of talk backwards and forwards for a second. So who was going after Emilia first? Zadriel and Mirabelle? Okay, so Adok, Skatus, and Carnos.
20.
So I am Fibble. So 20 from Emilia, 17 from Fibble.
17 as well.
17 as well, and 12. So Skatus.
What was the roll for?
For just perception.
Perception? That's...
No, you off the
not
road.
me?
No, not
okay.
you, Mirabelle.
Oh, sorry, 19 for me then.
19. So, yeah. Skatus is the only one that doesn't hear this conversation. Neither does Zadriel or Mirabelle.
I rolled a 20.
You got a 12 on there. Or was that before?
That's before.
In the text. You got 20. So you all hear it. Except for Zadriel and Mirabelle, who are chasing down Emilia. We're not chasing us, following into the forest. Ireena turns to her brother and says, "Are you sure that they are capable of helping us get to Valaki? They seem strange. Little weird." He goes, they are not from here. They are from outside, like many others that come here. Their ways will be not our ways. I'm sure it'll be fine." And she goes, "I'm not so sure. The one with the face, I'm not sure we can trust it. And the human, he's strange also. Keep close eye on him, brother." And they sort of then turn, and he props his sister up a little bit. They wait while you guys are waiting for Emilia. So we'll switch over now to Mirabelle, Zadriel, as you walk into the forest after Emilia. You're probably about 5 or 10 feet, probably 10 feet behind her, as she strolled off with, I'd assume, relative purpose. Emilia, make a perception check to see if you notice that they are following, please.
Was that investigation?
Perception.
Oh, perception. That one. 10.
10. You do hear footprints snap behind you, but you're probably not really... You probably think it might be your own footsteps at this point. And so you don't really hear what's going on. So you carry on doing whatever you're doing. Mirabelle and Zadriel, you are together, moving after her.
I would have... Yoo-hoo, it was just behind you. We'll just turn our backs when you're ready.
I was about to tell her to be shh, but it's kind of rude.
Well, too late. She said yoo-hoo, and Emilia, you would have now realised that both Zadriel and Mirabelle are following behind you by about 10 feet.
Emily is going to say, just go on. Just keep going. I'll be with you shortly. Don't worry about me.
Okay. And then tell Mirabelle, no, wait. What'd you see? Yeah, shh. So we keep watch.
Emilia, you say your piece, and do you turn and just keep walking?
Yeah, I'm going to walk into the forest, like, quite deep, like, I could, to the
Roughly
point
how
that
far?
I could still, oh no, to the point that I could still see the road, still see the light, and then I'm going to turn right and walk that direction.
Okay, so we are on the road at the moment. You walked left off the road into the forest, about, I'd say, roughly 30 feet. Because that's about, you as you sort of glance back towards the road, you probably would roll another perception check to see if you can see these guys still following. You guys roll a stealth check, please.
13.
13 for you. So you guys got a 13 to beat on your stealth to remain hidden. Mirabelle, what was 10? Zadriel.
I have to roll at disadvantage,
You certainly
so
do.
I got an 11.
So you both fail your stealth checks. So Emilia, you have strided forward. They've hung back a little bit, but you do notice that they're still tailing you.
Emily is going to use mold earth, and she's going to make a biggish square with two cylinders at the bottom and a big circle on the head. So
Okay.
it looks like, basically looks like a person, and you'll leave it there standing and walk away. Like, keep walking.
Perception checks from you two to see if you notice this, because by this time she's about 15 feet, so the mist will obscure it somewhat. So 5 from you, 4 from you, Zadriel.
18.
Mirabelle, you do not, you just see this figure standing there. You think, you're pretty sure that must be her. Zadriel, you are a little bit more astute. You no longer see Emilia, as she's probably obscured by this molded object, but you know it's not her, but it does look humanoid. Roll a quick history check for me. Quick intelligence check to see if you are startled by the fact that it may be another one of these creatures you've just encountered.
Intelligence.
So just intelligence, yeah.
That is a 13.
13. You're not 100% sure what it is. You think it might be another one of these tree creatures. But you're not frightened or scared, but you are definitely concerned for Emilia and for Mirabelle as well. Mirabelle sort of stopped and said I was going to say something. So Mirabelle, you have stopped. You can't see Emilia anymore, but you think this figure is her still.
I was just going to turn around to Zadriel. And say, I think she's alright. I think we can probably leave her alone now.
Right. I'm
Stage whisper, please, Muddy.
I think she's alright.
That means speak properly so we can hear you.
I'm going to hold her hand, and I'm going to go up, and with one hand I'm going to bash at that mold earth and keep going towards where Emilia was, hopefully, but this is a bad idea.
So with that, by the time you get to the figure, Emilia, at this point, are you trying to evade them?
I'm going to take another 90-degree turn and head back towards the road.
Okay, so I need you to roll. If you're trying to evade them, I need you to make a stealth check for me. If you're trying to remain hidden from them.
I wasn't trying to, but
I said, if you're not trying to, you don't have to roll it. It's up to you. If you want to just move quickly, that's fine. You can pick up the pace to try and evade them, or it'll change the DC on their perception checks. But if you're trying to stealth, you can just roll stealth. If not, just keep going as you are.
Can I perception to see if they're still there? See if I still notice them?
Certainly can. I would say that you would definitely know they're still there because, I mean, Zadriel's just used her hammer to destroy your mold earth creation.
Okay.
So she would have made a bit of noise.
I'll go back to them and then say we should rejoin the party.
So you stop and rejoin them?
Yep.
Okay.
Before we go, I'm going to question Zadriel that when she cast her sense, whatever the heck it was,
Divine sense, yes.
Divine sense, if she detected anything from the other two.
Which two in particular?
The two where
Ismark and Ireena? Okay.
I did not detect anything from anyone, so they seem okay.
It's just that you've no doubt noticed that they have bite marks in their neck.
Yeah.
If they are, say, evil
just
as
Ireena.
I am.
Yeah, it's just Ireena that has the bite marks.
Okay. If she is evil like me, then she should be that. She should glow like I do, like you say I do.
If she is evil like you, are you evil?
Well, previously you said that you had detected something from me. So
Mirabelle, this is the first time you're hearing this too, by the way.
Well, I detected something, but not evil, and I don't want to say because Mirabelle. But
evil is just the first word that came to mind. That's not exactly what I meant, but it's just what I said.
But I think it takes a couple of days to become vampire, doesn't it not? Maybe?
I don't know. I'm just questioning whether they are who they say they are. I mean, we don't know that they are the children of the Burgermeister.
Jump in, Mirabelle.
I'm just going to kind of
Speak up.
I'm going to just look at Emilia and kind of sideways, and it's like, are you not what you see you are?
I am human, sort of.
Okay. That'll do for me. I'm just going to carry on listening to their conversation and probably not make any sense of it at all.
Were you leaving all the way out here because you do not trust them, or because of something else? Because we should not split up.
I saw what I thought was someone I knew, and I went to talk to them. Unfortunately, they won't approach me if I'm in a group, which is why I was trying to avoid being in a group.
So you'll tell me about it later, you say?
Yes.
Okay.
So, if you leave me be, I will catch up in 5 minutes. If not, I'll come with you right now and try and smooth things over with the group that probably thinks I'm going insane.
What do you think, Mirabelle?
I'm just going to grab her hand, because she's probably got my other one, and drag her towards the road. She'll be fine.
Okay, Nico.
So you leave Emilia to whatever she was doing?
Yes.
So you make it back towards the road, which is probably, let's say, about 25 feet back towards the road. And you rejoin the group. And Ismark turns and says, "Where is your friend? We must not move. We must not leave without her. As I say, the forest here is not a safe place."
She'll be fine. She'll be back in a second.
How long have you been in Barovia, little one?
Oh, about a metre.
Excuse me?
Not very long at all. I don't actually know how long we've been here.
About 2 or 3 days. Adok.
Are we all hearing this, by the way,
Yes.
as well? Yeah,
They've returned back to the group, so you are now hearing Ismark's remarks.
Right. Yeah, Adult would also shoot in and go, Mirabelle, whereabouts did Emilia walk into? Did she go into the forest, into the mist?
She went into the forest.
I'm going to
Just
look
that
to
way.
Carnos and everyone else and go, she's fucked. She's dead.
I had to make a decision. We cannot split the party, and she was not going to listen eventually, so we made a choice. So
I think she really needed to go to the little girl's room. And she had a bit of stage fright because we were standing there.
At this point, Ismark sort of looks over towards the forest. Emilia, how far into the forest have you gone away from the road at this point?
I'm pretty much, by the time this is happening, I'm pretty much heading out of the forest right now.
So you're heading back towards the road?
So I'll be exiting the forest with basically one hand in my backpack.
Yep.
Then sealing my backpack up and putting it
Okay.
back on my back and walking out to join the group.
Okay, cool. No problem. She returns. And he actually walks right up to you, Emilia, and says, please, do not do that again. Forest is dangerous. The mist is more dangerous. You cannot stay out there very long by yourself. You will not survive. Believe me.
Okay, I shall not do it again.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
I thought I saw something and I had to go check, but it's good. There's nothing there.
Better we stay as group, and if we have to fight, we fight together. We're
Hold-
stronger
hold on.
together.
Hold on a minute there. You thought you saw something. They said you were going to go for a pee and you were getting stage fright. What's the truth here? What's happening?
I went to pee and then I thought I saw something. And then it turned out there's just two people following me.
Ismark's going to roll insight on Emilia at this point because he is a little suspicious of your now conflicting stories.
I didn't say anything.
Was with what you guys said when you came back, what Carnos has just said. He's a little suspicious. He rolled a 17. So, 23. Oh, Fibblestib wanted to roll insight as well.
Carlos only got a 10.
Carnos got 10. Adok, what's your insight?
17.
17. So, Emilia, with a 17, two 17s and 23, and a 19. A little bit late on the roll there, Skathis, so I'm afraid I'm going to have to sit you out on this one. With the insights that have been rolled, however, Ismark, again, hasn't walked too far away from you. He looks at you, and you can tell that he doesn't believe what you've said. But again, he just says, please, stay with the group. Do not stray. It is not a good idea. And he turns and goes back to Ireena. But as he turns, he gives you a glance, a look, Carnos, as basically as to say that you get the impression that he definitely does not believe what Emilia's just said. It's that type of look, sort of letting you know that he's suspicious, kind of thing.
Sweet.
Adok.
Just checking, is Fiddlestib, Skathis, and Carnos in close proximity to...
Everyone's in a group on the road at this point.
Fuck, okay, no worries.
You're all sort of within 5 or 10 feet of each other, so...
Yeah, that's right.
So all those that rolled inside, Carnos, Adok, and Fibblestib. I said Skathis, you're a little late on the roll, so we'll sort of have you out of this one. But the rest of you guys, you can say something if you wish at this point. You've heard what Ismark has said, and I said Carnos specifically. Ismark did shoot you a look, which has you believe that he definitely doesn't believe what Emilia's just said. So how you react to that's up to you.
You see, but I'm just as people. I'm just gonna say I call bullshit.
You say that to Malia?
I say that to the entire group.
Oh, she's call it out.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
So,
I don't
Carlos.
care. I just don't want to split the party anymore. And that's all I say.
Carlos agrees with Zadriel. Splitting the party, I mean, everyone who thinks splitting the party is a good idea, it is never a good idea. It just leads to bad things. So we agree to stay together, right?
This is good idea. We should not stray from the road, and especially as before, we must not be on the road after dark. We must get to Valaki. We still have a few hours of travel, so we must go. Please. Many things out here will
Lead the way. Come on.
try
let's
to eat
go.
you. Yes.
Let's move.
So with that,
Ages to get places.
so with that, he gives you a bit of a quizzical look, Fibblesib, and gives you an approving nod, and turns, and him and Ireena start heading up the road again. And I'm assuming you all follow.
Yes, yep.
Yep.
After probably another 30-40 minutes, an hour or so, you come across a bit of a crossroads. And as you're approaching it, you see an old wooden gallows, the rope creaking in the slight breeze that's blowing from the west. The frayed rope dances from its beam. The well-worn road splits here into, and the signpost opposite the gallows points off in 3 directions. One in the direction you've just came, village of Barovia to the east. Another sign says the Seer Pool, which is to the northwest, and then another one says Ravenloft Valaki to the southwest. The northwest fork slants down and disappears into the trees, while the southwest fork clings to an upward slope. Across from the gallows, a low wall, crumbling in places, partially encloses a small plot of graves, shrouded in a sort of low, misty fog. Mirabelle, Adok.
I was just going to say, whilst we were walking that hour track, I would have fallen back to Fibblestib and tried to get his attention and say something privately.
There you go.
Fibblestib, you're a smart guy, yeah? Something is shady. Believe me when I say don't trust anyone. You called her out no bullshit, alright? Just keep in mind.
Yeah, I understand. There's only one person here I really trust. Well, 2.
Yeah, right. Same.
Yeah. 2 people.
Yeah, but just keep your wits about you, alright?
Maybe 3. Not 2.
Mirabelle, you wanted to say something or do something as well?
I was just going to say, I don't really like the look of that. So I point towards the mist or whatever it is coming towards us.
It's not coming towards you. It's just hovering around a small graveyard.
It's just hovering around. I don't like the look of it.
There's an old gallows with a rope there and that as well, as you're sort of approaching the crossroads. Yes, Carlos.
At this point, while they're walking, Carlos would move up to Ismark and maybe try and sort of quicken the pace of the frontage a bit, and then try to talk to Ismark about what just happened.
Yep.
Would he sort of, trying to quicken the maybe 10 feet ahead of the others so he can talk quietly?
Yeah, he would keep pace with you, definitely. He would sort of look to his sister and just give her a nod and a glance and move forward with you.
Carlos would say to him, I don't know what you saw back there or understood or whatever, but I didn't get the good feeling from Amelia coming back. What was that look you gave me? You not get a good feeling either?
No. She says she saw someone in the forest and went to investigate on her own. And yet, as you say, the others say she was going to relieve herself. Stories do not align. I'm not easy to trust anyone. I still not 100% trust any of you at this point. But you agreed to help. You help us bury our father. You help me escort my sister to Valaki. But know this, if any of you put my sister in danger, I will not hesitate to put you all down. As I say, things here are not what happen outside these walls. Really different here.
That's fair, Mr. Ismark. I agree. I can guarantee you in no way, shape or form are we wanting to, well, I can speak for myself here, are we wanting to harm you or your sister. I genuinely want to help. I must admit, the group, we have only known each other a small amount of time, and it is a little tricky to understand everyone's comings and goings, so to speak. I will do my best to keep an eye on them, but they do not seem to gravitate towards me, shall we say. So I am not really the leader of this group, for lack of a better term. So I can do what I can do, and I'll just try and keep that all together. Thank you, sir. And Carlos drops back sort of closer to Fibblestib or whoever's roughly in the middle.
So he drops back towards his sister as well. Mirabelle, you wanted to say something?
I was just going to say, are we close enough to hear this going on?
No, you are not. They moved 10 feet or so in front, and it was a private conversation. You may have caught bits and pieces, maybe, but nothing to determine what they're actually talking about. At this point, you then get close enough to the gallows to see that it's fairly old. It's been a while since it's been used. Ismark and Ireena turn back and look at you guys and say, please, this way. And turn to the left, heading on a road that the sign that says Ravenloft/Valaki. And turn and head away. As you guys leave and the gallows in your wake, Fibblestib, you hear a creaking noise behind you coming from the gallows. Where there was nothing before, as you turn and just glance at this noise, a lifeless grey body. The breeze swings it back and forward. The figure turns slowly, and in a few seconds you are now staring into the face of your own body hanging from the gallows.
Oh, you don't see that every day.
Say that out loud.
Yeah.
Everyone would have heard that.
What is that, Fibblestib? What are you talking about?
Just saw myself hanging from the rope over there.
How much of that wine have you been drinking I gave you?
As you glance up, Zadriel, to look in the direction Fibble is pointing, and anyone else who does the same as you stop, as Fibble makes these remarks, you all see Fibblestib hanging from the gallows. Cold, grey skin, lifeless eyes still open. Mirabelle.
I'm seeing this, I'd probably go towards it. Like, that's not...
You wouldn't be able to touch it because you're far too short.
Okay.
Ad hoc.
Seeing that, I immediately tell everyone, I'm like, alright everyone, get away from Fiddlestib. Quickly.
Carlos does the opposite.
Pull out my blowgun.
Ismark turns as seeing Ad hoc react in that way, and as Karnos steps in towards Fibblestib. Anyone else want to say or do anything at this point? React? Seeing this small gnomish figure with with brown hair, green tips, very dead, hanging from this gallows that wasn't there before.
Karnos 100% pulls his shield and axe up and sort of protects real Fibblestib and looks up and says, I don't think it's a good idea, guys. Fibble, do you have a brother or a twin?
No. No siblings.
Right, I think someone's just trying to scare us. Let's just carry on. Ismark, do you know anything about this?
Ismark turns and sees it, and you see his eyes widen, and he says, quickly, we must not linger here. Keep moving. Quickly. And you can see the urgency in his face and in his gestures. He's just trying to get you guys to keep moving. And you get the impression he knows something about it, but he doesn't want to discuss it here.
Yep, we keep moving. I do.
Keep moving.
So you all continue to move? Adok?
Karnos defending Fibblestib too.
Yeah. Zadriel?
I'm going to cast Shield of Faith on Fibblestib because I think that's what she would do, which gives him 2 to his AC for 10 minutes.
Okay, so make a note of that. You got +2 to AC for 10 minutes. Adok?
Right, just before we go, real quickly, just stay still. 2 seconds. I'm going to cast Detect Magic.
Okay, so you cast Detect Magic?
On Fibblestib, yeah.
On Fibblestib directly?
Yep, yes.
But it's got a range anyway, doesn't it? It's like...
Yeah, it does. It's 30 feet.
30 feet. So anything that's magical, Mirabelle, the cloak that you're wearing, lights up. Whatever Fibblestib had on you that is magical, lights up. Which would have lit up the last time you cast Detect Magic with the group. It's pretty much all the same things. Nothing really different in the area.
I'll put a blow gun on my and go, right, Fibblestib is clear. It's Fibblestib.
Mirabelle.
At this point, I'm starting to panic, so I'm just going to cast Expeditious Retreat on myself and start walking very, very fast away.
So you just start walking very quickly, and you seem to you keep pace with everyone else a lot more easier with Expeditious Retreat, as everyone you move quickly, matching pace with Ireena and Ismark, who definitely pick up the pace at this point. Once far enough away that you can no longer see the gallows, as the road starts turning to the north once more, Ismark and Ireena slow their pace, and Ismark turns back, doesn't turn and stop. As he's walking, he sort of drops back a little bit so that you can all hear, and says, sorry if I alarmed you all, but things like that will happen from time to time. It is that the Dark Lord is messing with your mind. He will try and break you, all of you. He will try and turn you against each other. He will use you. Do not fall for his charms. Please, keep your wits about you. We've still got a few hours to go, but we are making good time. We should get to Valaki before dark. If luck is on our side, we will not have any further holdups. And with that, we carry on, and you then, as you pass the gallows, leave the gallows, you come into a small clearing, a few farm fields off to the south and southeast. The road turns back to the north and then back into the forest, the Slavich Woods, back into the forest. As you get back into the woods, the mist seems to form a little thicker in the trees than it did before. Still very overcast day. It's not raining, but the clouds are thick and grey, as they have been for the start of this whole day. In the distance, you hear the first baying of a single wolf, then 2, 5, 10. Chorus of wolves off in the distance. Not close enough to warrant any threats at this point, but definitely you all hear it. Mirabelle.
Who's closest to me?
That would be probably Fibbleston, maybe Fibble. You guys are all grouped together within 5 or 10 feet of each other, so you're all pretty close.
So I'm just going to go and get extraordinarily close to the closest person to me and kind of snuggle in as if to say, oh, I'm a bit scared, but I'm just going to pretend that I'm not.
I would say you'd probably hang around closer to Zadriel. You seem to have made a bit of a friendship there, so I'd say Zadriel would be the person that you would sort of gravitate towards. Fibbleston.
Look at Emily and go,
Emilia, what are they saying?
I just got what you said.
I'm assuming you mean the wolves.
Yes, the wolves.
Well, the main guy's talking about food, and the other guys are saying that they're hungry. So they're arranging dinner plans.
Oh, so a meet-up. Get together. Okay. They're not thinking about eating, us.
Because maybe you should ask Zadriel, because she talks to animals.
I won't talk to you
Sorry.
about it.
And Adok moves in very close to Fibbleston at this point as well, with the sound of the baying wolves. You see Ismark sort of prick his head up when he first hears it, also looking around. Doesn't seem overly concerned, but he has definitely heard it as well. He's taken notice, and their pace quickens a little, not too much, but they definitely pick up the pace a little bit. And right there, we're going to take a small break around almost 9 o'clock, so we'll take a break there, guys, before we carry on any further. So, chat, welcome to our show. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Book of Shadows, welcome. Why was Book of Shadows timed out? Let's see what was said here. Alright, okay. Fair cool. Nice one, Mods. Yeah, so chat, just to let you guys know, Inara's best. We'll take the time for the break anyway. Yeah, chat. So just even though we are technically in 18 plus chat, try and keep the chat as clean as possible. We do have children that will probably watch this and probably catch the VODs on YouTube. So if we can keep the chat as clean as possible, that would be awesome. Thank you very much. The mods will time you out as a warning, and you'll only get one. The next time you break any form of TOS or any kind of disrespectful behavior, you will be banned. I shouldn't have to say this. We're all adults. We should be able to conduct ourselves accordingly. But we will take a short break. We'll be right back, and we will get back into the show. See you shortly. When I find my button.
When you find your button.
There it is.
Not the button.
Ladies and germs, we're back. We're just waiting on one of our players to come back. He's having some minor issues with his PC. So he's doing a restart. We will just hang out in the chat with you guys until he comes back. So just to give you a quick introduction to the channel, if you're new to the channel, my name is Evildoer. I am from New Zealand. Long-time player of Dungeons & Dragons. I've been playing the game since the mid-80s. So yes, I'm very old. Right back around second edition, third edition AD&D. Those were the editions I spent a lot of time playing. Took a long break from D&D, come back and when 5th edition was released. And we have a home game running, which Hit, aka Baz, aka Carnos, runs for at his place, which has been going for like 3 years or something now. It's a long campaign. But it's been great. 4 years, holy crap. We were playing once a month and every other week and stuff, so it's been a long process, but a great game nonetheless. After watching a lot of Critical Role and obviously playing in the home game and DMing a one-shot in Baz's home game, well technically a two-shot, it was over 2 sessions, I decided, bugger it, I'm going to write up and run a homebrew campaign on stream. And that's how the Sunday night campaign was born, which has been running for over a year now. Then I decided really badly that I really want to do Curse of Strahd. I did start one on the US time zone with US players, but it didn't kind of work out with IRL things and there's stuff going on. So unfortunately we could not complete it. So I hit these awesome people up and asked whether they would be interested in doing Curse of Strahd. And we agreed, and here we are. Obviously meeting Cameron and Jackson over on the Lost Chapters channel, got to know them reasonably well, and invited Cameron to join our show as well. I'll be joining the Lost Chapters in the next few weeks on a Thursday night, doing one of their campaigns, and eventually we will be, when we finish this campaign, Michelle is going to run a multi-shot, 1-shot, 2-shot, 3-shot, whatever the hell shot it's going to be, for us before we do a possible Vampire the Masquerade campaign, which Baz will be storytelling for us. While that's all running on, I'm going to look into prepping and writing a new homebrew campaign, set in a different realm, probably set in Faerun and the Sword Coast, to make it a little easier to for the world building kind of side of things. But it will be a homebrew scenario. I haven't got any ideas yet. I am considering doing a on-stream brainstorm with you guys, if you guys are interested at some point. Maybe building a world, or building a story and a story hook and basic story hooks and stuff with all of us, and then building characters at the same time. Curse of Strippers. That could well make an appearance. The Curse of the Stripper. The stripper might be a Rakshasa or something.
A
That
reverse.
means Drax will be called in again.
You do a reverse campaign where we all start at level 20 and end up at level 1.
I was so worried you were
interesting.
just about to say we
Curse
all
of the
start
brothel
fully
house.
clothed and completely stripped. What?
Strip D&D.
Well, no, we can't do that. That's a breach of TOS. I mean, we can't show nipples, so you'd have to have pasties on everyone. So we can't, and that's men included. Can't show nipples.
Mine into my waist, just my trousers.
Wow, sexy. But yeah, so that's the basic plans for the foreseeable future. That kind of content will keep us going for a long time. Yes, we did. Yes, Baz did a one-shot a while back. We was basically an evil one-shot where we played orcs, goblins, and bugbears. And then he actually tied that one-shot into our main game a little bit too, which is kind of cool.
Hey, I do have a bugbear monk somewhere in the collection of characters I've rolled.
I have considered a potential evil campaign. I did initially consider doing an opposite side of our current homebrew campaign from as you guys are obviously running through Paradigm and the Lions of Alond, I was actually looking at doing maybe minions of agents of Asmodeus and maybe doing it from that perspective, or moving the whole thing and going to
Call it the life of Brian.
200 years prior to where the current campaign is, and have like the Council of Elders involved, and have you guys all members of the Order of the Black Fang. So working towards pushing the prophecy forward rather than preventing it. So that would mean the initial writing of the dragon contracts and hunting dragons and destroying dragons and starting the dragon wars and all that sort of stuff. So a very underhanded campaign. So I'm looking at stuff I'm looking at a whole bunch of stuff. But like I said, what I'd like to do is get together as a group, us and the chat, and look at doing just a big brainstorming session. Have everyone throw ideas in. We'll write them all down, and then I might even use the dice to select story hooks and stuff. So, which makes it kind of random. Then that gives me all the information I need to write it, and I can write up the story, and you guys can create your characters, and we can move on from there. But that's way in the future, because we have a multi-shot to get through, and then a Vampire the Masquerade campaign, which could potentially run for, I'd say, 3 to 6 months as well, depending on depending on the story that Baz has written for it, and sort of how that progresses as well. But from what I understand, we did sort of shoot the shit a little bit about it, and we had decided on a modern day setting for the VTM. And we were looking at modern day New Zealand, Australia.
Yeah, I think we took like Melbourne or Sydney or something like.
Using an actual city with which we can use actual maps and street names and things like that. Businesses. There will be some businesses which will obviously be fantasy, but we will be using a lot of real stuff, which would be kind of cool.
Yeah, the Bank of Melbourne is actually run by the Nosferatu.
Well, it's possible. I mean, I've already come up with an idea.
Run by the...
I've already come up with an idea for my character, who would be basically a nightclub owner or a bar owner, which has a haven for undead after hours kind of thing if they get caught.
Dracula's, which is actually a bar in.
I was looking at that. I was looking at that. I was looking at that and looking up bars and nightclubs in Melbourne, and yeah.
We have to be.
That name
you guys
come
have to be running Bunnings Warehouse and the Forex bowling.
Repco, Super Cheap Auto,
Crown Casino,
Autobahn.
I work at Crown, so there you go. I can tell you the whole thing about it.
Dan Murphy's for me.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, because you guys live over there, you would have more information on specific businesses to give us the stuff that we need for it. So, but yes, it will be streamed here on our channel. Definitely. You are all invited. Those that do get invited to play will all be invited to cosplay your character if you so wish. So if you do want to run fangs in a particular style of dress, I will be doing so. I will be doing so myself because I have a very specific way my character is going to look, and obviously your clan will have a particular influence on that as well, which is kind of cool. So definitely looking at that. Anywho, enough prattling on. We shall return to Old Slavich Road as we enter the forest once again, as Ismark leads you onwards to the township of Valaki. You've just heard the baying of this as a start, 1 or 2 wolves decoffeeing. Oh wow, well done, Nutty. You've heard the baying of several wolves. Some of your group have drawn themselves a little closer for protection. Mirabelle and Adok have sought out refuge within the group. You then, further along the road takes a turn, a relatively sharp turn to the west, and then towards the southwest, still in amongst the trees. And as you look into the trees, only about 25 or 30 feet into the trees, that mist hangs very thick in the air, swallowing the rest of the forest up in the foggy envelope that is around this place. Once again, the baying of wolves comes one or two at first, then a dozen or more, hard to tell, but several. This time in multiple directions. Seems like it's coming from behind, off to the north, and then maybe to the southeast as well. It's very hard to determine roughly exactly where they are, but they're not close or closer than they were before, but they're definitely there, and they're making their presence known. As you keep walking forward, one of you, who's got the highest passive? I think Skatus, I believe, is the highest passive. From memory. I should write these down. Would make things a little bit more...
Passive what?
Passive perception, sorry.
No, mine's 13.
13.
I know mine's pretty high.
You might actually be the highest, actually. Where are we? I'm trying to find my thing. Not that thing either. Dirty chat. I know what you're thinking. Man, it's in here somewhere. Bones. There it is. So, 13 for Emilia. What was yours, Skathis? Passive perception, please. Everyone else is pretty low.
12.
12. So, so Emilia and Skathis, you'd be the first to spot it. A single raven sitting in just off to the left of the road as you turn the corner. Appears to be picking at something on the ground. As you approach, and you all notice this large black bird, it lets out a loud squawk and takes off, leaves the road, disappears into the trees, into the fog. As you get closer, you notice something shiny on the ground where the bird was just sat and pecking. Roughly for the order is, from what I remember from just what we were talking about before, Karnos and Zadriel are probably the first to come up on it with Ismark and Ireena. Do you stop and inspect this shiny object on the ground as you approach?
Yes.
What are you doing specifically? Do you stop it? Do you look at it, look down at it, or do you pick it up?
Zadriel, would you be interested in it first?
No, because rule number 1 is do not pick up shiny things, so no.
Is it shiny?
It is. It is rather shiny, glinting in what light there is. It's not like bright sunlight, but there is enough light from the day that it is sort of glinting with a certain light.
Karnos will get down on one knee and look closely with his shield and axe in hand.
As you do so, you notice a small platinum coin. It has a stamp of a sun on the face.
Karnos says, hold up everyone, it is a small platinum coin with a stamp of a sun on the face.
Oh, this is from Valaki. It is the Valakian currency. They stamp all their coins with the symbol of the sun.
What would a raven be doing with it here?
Oh, ravens are attracted to all things shiny. They're pests of a bird.
Okay, that's good. Nothing to worry about. And Karnos will stand back up. Carry on.
Do you take the coin?
No, Karnos does not take the coin.
Okay, Ismark leaves it as well. Mirabelle, Adok.
I'm probably going to pick up the coin if Adok doesn't get there first.
Well, that's what I say. Yeah, it's shiny, herd money. So
okay,
yeah.
Athletics by you both. Athletics versus athletics. Who's quicker? Zadriel.
Does the sun match the one on my shield?
2. What's your athletics, Mirabelle? You were the first to get there. I'd say you both get there at the same time, but Mirabelle, you're quicker on the uptake, and you just bend down, swoop with a hand, and just as Adok you got to pick it up, Mirabelle undercuts you and picks it up and sort of picks it up and looks at it.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
No, I meant to give it to you. That's yeah.
Oh, I was just going to look at it and bite on it and then say here.
Oh yeah, right. Okay.
Zadriel, no. I mean, it's a similar. I mean, the sun is a sun, but this is the full sun with small rays. The curve, like not the straight lines, but like the curved waves, rays around the outside. So a single sun dot stamped in the middle with a small gap, and then the rays around the outside. But it is a platinum coin, so it is worth 10 gold. So mark that down in your notes, Adok. Do you now have a platinum coin, or in your
it does get handed to me. Fuck yeah. Fuck.
Yeah, Mirabelle handed it to you, so.
Karnos leans over to Zadriel and says, I actually also have a similar rule about not picking up shiny things that I don't know where they've come from. I also have a rule about not picking up one little thing at a time. It's a habit. Good to see you're not a greedy person.
Thank you. Not picking up one at a time, what's that about?
Well, I mean, it's just one coin, right? The uneven weight. The distribution for fighting is completely wrong.
Wow, okay. And I'm just gonna
Emilia?
keep going.
Wait a minute. Is that why you drink from one, then from the other?
Out of flask, yes, to keep my weight distribution. Mr. Sturbit, you have noticed quite well.
Emilia.
Emilia scoffs, who needs money under her breath, and then doesn't, just sort of walk past.
No worries, Adok.
Make an intelligence check to see if that's actually true or not.
Yeah, it'll be more probably insight.
Oh, insight? Yeah, sure. No worries.
Well, depending on what you're trying to determine. Are you trying to determine what he's saying is true about weight distribution? Or just that's what he does?
Oh, if that's true. If that would actually matter that much for weight distribution.
Roll intelligence.
16.
From your knowledge as a tinkerer and an engineer, with your skills, you would think, you think about it for a second, you think, you're not entirely sure that it would make a difference, but it's possible. You haven't really thought about it before. Mirabelle, you wanted to say something? No?
No, I was just going to look at him like he was a bit nuts.
Fibblestub, your reply.
I'm gonna straight out say, that's a bit nuts, right?
A bit nuts, as in, you think I'm crazy for wanting to keep my even weight distribution?
Well, in between two flasks that are on close to your body, yeah. Now, if you had extremely a lot in one and just a little in the other, that kind of makes sense. But a little sip's not going to make that much of a difference.
You are probably correct, Mr. Stubb, but we do what we do.
But at the same time, if you're used to being perfectly balanced, I guess, it's you.
I would not say it is perfectly balanced, but I like to think it keeps me even.
Adok.
Yeah, I just like to say on top of Fiddlestib, it's possible. Like, I mean, there's a 0.0001% chance that what he's trying to say about the liquids and the balance and the equilibrium is actually quite possible.
Actually,
you could
maths
throw
out
yourself.
8.2. But outside of that...
Right, okay. Well, I mean, it depends on what equation you're using. I mean, I use Pythagoras theorem. Like, what you...
I use Fibblestib theorem. A little bit more accurate.
Right.
Scathus chimes in. So what you're saying, he likes to get drunk.
Evenly.
It's walking with the pace and the ratio of the distance, and it's sloshing around. Water is not a constant stability. Sloshing around, you're all dickheads. Can we go on?
Mirabelle.
We've been moving through this entire conversation, so I don't...
Yes, you're still walking. Mirabelle, yes.
I'm now looking between Fibblestib and Adok, going, what the actual fork are you talking about? What's this Pitagoritivicus, what theory?
It's math. I think
I
it might
don't
be
know.
above your head.
Everything's above my head, love.
At this point, Ismark and Ireena sort of both, as a continue walk turn. Look, Ismark has a very, what's the word? Dejected look on his face. And yeah, Ireena sort of turns and rolls her eyes at her brother, and they keep walking. Another hour passes. The road then breaks the tree line once again, turns sharply back towards the north and northeast, and starts going uphill slightly. You then continue along this road until you, again, the incline's a steady incline. It's not steep, but it takes a little bit of effort to keep going with, especially with the armor and everything else. So you as Mark says, we shall get to the top of the road. There is a bridge up here, and we shall take a small break if that is okay with you. We have been traveling for some time. A short break would. Ireena must have a short rest.
How far away are we from?
Oh, not far. Maybe another 20 minutes or so to the bridge. And then from there, probably another 2 hours or so to Valaki, to the gates.
Well, I don't know about anybody else, but I'm starving. So
Well, we can stop and eat beside the road. The bridge looks out over the bridge. It's a good good view. You will see when we get there. I don't need to explain. You'll see when we get there. And again, he aids Ireena. As you can see that she's physically slowed down at this point. She's definitely needs to rest. She being out moving around and obviously not sleeping very much, and obviously these wounds have had an effect on her. So it takes you about 20 minutes, and then you crest a small hill and start the ground evens out and flattens off again. You then follow this dirt road as it clings to the side of a small sort of mountain. The mountain is not really a mountain. It's like a small set of what's the term? Foothills more than a mountain, but it's good elevation. You then come to a small arching bridge of cobblestone, mouldy, overgrown with vines, spans a natural chasm. Gargoyles cloaked in black moss perch on either side of the bridge. Very worn. Some of the features are missing because it's been here for that long that the weather has just worn away the stone. As you look over to the west, and you hear it as you approach the bridge, firstly, the running water, the loud sound of a waterfall. This waterfall spills into a misty pool nearly 1,000 feet below as you look down over this valley. The pool feeds into a river that meanders into the fog-shrouded pines that blanket the valley, off to the west. And Ismark aids his sister down to the ground near the start of this bridge, which on almost like a lookout point to some. It's not fenced off or anything, but it's just a flat piece of ground with a few small bushes, and looks down over this valley and down to the waterfall. And he then stands and turns to you all and says, "This is beautiful, no? This is the Seer Falls. I have used to come here as a boy and just sit and think. Not so much anymore, but it's still beautiful." And as you look over it, like the water's still blue, crystal clear, which is odd against this grey, ominous background of the tree. Like even the trees look very grey more than green.
This is beautiful.
Emilia.
Emily is going to find a patch of dirt next to the entrance of the bridge, and she's going to use mould earth, and in a 5-foot square, basically make 2 lines of seats.
Okay, cool.
For people to sit on.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. He gives you a small bow and then picks Ireena up and places her into one of these seated seats that you've created, and it's like a horseshoe kind of raised.
Yeah,
platform.
sort of a horseshoe sort of thing.
Cool.
So people can sit in a circle.
So you all place yourselves around. Ireena and Ismark on one end, I would imagine. The order around, probably Karnos would probably sit with closer to Ireena and Ismark, I would think. And then you guys can place yourselves around after that. So who would be sitting sort of next to Karnos, but next in line? Emilia?
Yeah, I'm going to sit closer to the Ireena and whatever his name
Okay,
is.
so you'd be down there with Karnos as well. As we go around, I would imagine maybe Skater, Sadriel, and then the 3 shorter folk towards the end. Because I would imagine that Adok and Fibblestib, well, Adok particularly probably doesn't want to sit too close to Karnos. Well, it is what it is.
Emily's going to say to Ireena and, oh god, I lost it again. Ismark. You had a house at the last village you lived. What are your plans for the new place that you're going to? Do you have a place there, or?
I have traveled to Valaki on many occasions. We do not have a house, but we have enough coin to secure lodgings in Valaki. The reason for Valaki is it is not in sight of the castle of Ravenloft. So I believe it will be safer for my sister to be there. It is a walled town, 3 gates, all made of iron. So a lot safer than the village.
Is there a reason you don't want to be near the castle?
The devil Strahd caused this infliction to my sister. His wolves and his spawn and zombies attacked nightly, which caused my father's heart to give out. I do not believe he will be able to do such things in Valaki.
I see.
He is a monster. You should not trust him. And I will do everything to keep my sister safe. Anything. And you can see at this point he's quite serious. His whole expression has become very, very serious. Like his posture, not aggressive, but very passive aggressive.
Emilia stands and walks away a bit and sits basically with her back against a tree outside of the group.
Okay. And noted. Anybody else while we're having a rest? If you want to eat, make sure you mark off rations. Ismark helps his sister with some base. Looks like they've got some basic food of their own, and they do stop, eat, and drink. Now, who were the 2 that drank from the river water? I need you both to make a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Without thinking about it, I probably would sit down and be drinking out of my water skin now.
15.
15. And yours, Mirabelle?
That would be a 9.
9. Emilia, your stomach rumbles a little bit as you sit and wait for everyone else to eat. Are you eating at this point?
No.
No? Just drinking the water?
Just drink
or
the
have
water.
drunk the water. Whether you're drinking now is up to you. You feel a little bit of a cramp, but nothing too serious. Mirabelle, it's at this point you get the most amazingly painful stomach cramp that you've probably ever felt. It's like someone just stabbed you in the stomach. Lasts for about 10 or 12 seconds, and then subsides.
Oh, that was a bit sore. As she rolls around the floor with holding onto her stomach.
Do you literally roll on the floor in pain?
Yeah, I'll grab my stomach and drop to the ground and roll around a bit.
Ismark will probably stand and go, "Are you okay? What is wrong?"
Well, you know how you said not to drink from the river? I think I'm understanding why now.
Oh, of course. Do you have fresh water that's not from river?
No.
I suggest if you have river water in your water skins, empty it out now and maybe refill when you get to Valaki, or ask your friends. They may be able to share water. But we're only a couple of hours away from the town. You can replenish your water there. Carlos. Oops, I think Carlos froze. Oh, he's back.
Sorry. He would also take his water skin over to her and try and give her a bit of that instead of her own. And just with a medicine check, can I determine how bad she is?
Sure, roll a medicine check.
Oh, natural 20.
Natural 20.
That makes it.
With a natural 20.
Natural 20.
You have a look at it. She's looking a little green around the gills as well, but she describes her symptoms to you. And you being who you are and what you've done, I would imagine that Karnos has seen the odd case of dysentery and some pretty bad stomach bugs and stuff from drinking bad water in the past. So yeah, she's probably suffering from either dysentery or some form of bacteria which was in the water.
It seems, my dear, you have got some bacteria in your system and you are going to have to cleanse it out. Here, take one of my water skins and take a drink from it.
Mirabelle.
Oh, thank you. I was just going to say, you do realise I've got my nice green trousers on, don't you?
Okay, lucky you wore the green trousers, I suppose.
Well, you haven't got the runs yet, so you're fine. It's just a summer cake at this point.
I'm just going to take Carnos's water skin and have a good wee drink and say thank you very much. It's very appreciated.
And sorry.
Go ahead. You want to finish?
Yeah, finish your thought, yeah.
I was just going to say, if she wants to hold on to it, he will take hers and empty it out, and then roll it up and put it in his pack. Or if she hands it back, either way, it's up to you.
Well, it's up to you. I don't mind if you don't mind.
What's up to you?
I could keep it.
You can hold on to that. I'll just take your old one and replenish it at a later date once it is cleaned out.
Thank you very much. And my whole demeanour towards him changes as she bats her eyelids.
Zadriel.
While that's going on, if I heard them talking, I'm just gonna pat her on the back as she drinks for the lay on hands,
Yep.
and just spend the 5 points to cure a disease or poison, and make it look like Karnos's waters healed her.
No problem. Pretty cool. So, so your stomach cramp has gone, but chances are you will not receive another one at this point.
Karnos also takes his, because he has 2 water skins.
Yes.
He takes the one on the right hand side, which he gave to her, puts the empty one in his pack, and puts the one from the left hand side to the center at the back of his belt.
Maintaining balance. So, as you sit, Emilia, you wanted to say something?
Emilia, seeing this, will take her water skin, not her usual one, but her other one out of her bag and take a drink from that.
No problem.
And then put that back in her bag, but her usual one stays on her belt.
Yeah. So, I would say at this point, how many times have you drunk from your other water skin after 3 days? You've been here roughly 3 days now.
I don't know, it's probably, if it was full when we started, it's probably half empty.
Okay, so let's make a note of that. So you probably got another maybe 3 days worth of liquid left in it before you'd have to replenish. So just make a note of that, please. With that, after you probably wait here about 15 or 20 minutes before Ismark says, "Right, are we ready to continue our journey?" Again, maybe 2 hours before we get to Valaki. We will approach the western gate. When we get there, I must say, the guards there are very suspicious of strangers. So they will seem not aggressive, but they will probably question why you are here. Allow me to do the talking initially, and we should not have much problem.
How do they feel about wolf people?
This might be a problem. You will understand when we approach. We shall discuss it further before we talk to the guards at the gate. But for now, we will just keep going.
Are they likely to attack me if they see me?
I should say most likely, yes.
Okay.
You see, the main livelihood of a lot of the men in Valaki is hunting wolves and the wolf and the werewolf, which we have many in these lands. Which is one reason why we do not want to be out at night.
Ismark, what about him? And Carlos points at Adok.
He says, he looks to you. Okay, he did. Yes, he did actually right at the start. He says to you, as you have obviously motioned to Adok, and as Adok pulls his hood up over and low over his face and eyes, we do not. I forget what race you belong to, my little friend. But we do not have your kind here. So, I would, all strangers are met with hostility a little here. As most people are, fearful of the Devil Strahd and his minions. So if you wish to make entrance into city or into town, best to say you are not a minion of Strahd, or you have to convince them that you are not working for him, you see.
Oh, I feel like I should be alright with that. I'm pretty good with my words when I want to be.
Well, I hope so, little one, because they will ask. And if they do not believe you, they will not let you in. And you do not want to be outside of the city walls when it gets dark.
Also had a thought, could I use minor illusion to create a mask?
I would say so.
Cool.
Like I said, it is a minor illusion, so it couldn't be overly detailed. And obviously, if someone got too close, they would be suspicious and would obviously make a roll. So you would have to be mindful of that, and I'd say you'd be intelligent enough to definitely be mindful of that. So yeah, you could definitely do that. And with that, Ismark and Ireena gather themselves and wait for you to gather your things and gather yourselves back up. And you hit the road once more, travelling northward along Old Slavich Road, heading towards the town of Valaki. The road winds and turns. After about 30 minutes or so, roughly half an hour-ish, you hear something in the trees off in the distance to your west. You're not sure. It kind of sounds feral, not unlike wolves. What do you guys do?
Karnos instantly pulls his shield and axe, and at the ready, continuing to walking, but at the ready.
He would be jumping up and behind the closest person that was bigger than I am.
Okay, so you all bunch up together. Ismark and Ireena also hearing this. Ismark says, ready yourselves. I'm not sure what this might be. And he draws his sword and puts himself in front of his sister. Adok.
I would pull out my blowgun, pull out my component pouch, and anyone who's near me would see me start putting black powder into my blowgun.
No problem. So, Emilia.
Emilia, not paying attention, walks past the whole group, completely oblivious.
You'd probably daydreaming, probably thinking about your strange visitor. And after about a few moments, not too long, you do notice that you're walking by yourself. You turn, and the group are probably 15 feet behind you, still standing on the road, looking towards the trees, weapons drawn. The sound of branches breaking and the rustling of the underbrush draws your gaze into the forest more so. You spot several hunched, misshapen figures moving through the fog. And they're not very big. They are humanoid. They kind of move on two legs, but almost some of them look like they move on four as well. They're really weird looking creatures. As they get closer to you and break the tree line, you see four of these small creatures. They look scared and somewhat disheveled. They run up to you, and they run up close to you, and then they turn and just dart back off towards the falls. They don't say anything to you, they don't look up, but as they get close enough for you to see them, one of them is definitely humanoid, or they're all humanoid, but one, you can see human features on one side of his face. On the other side is fur, patches of fur. One eye looks very yellow, the other is very grey. Animal-like ears on this one. Hands with short, stubby hands with claws. Patches of fur all over his body. He looks like he's wearing nothing but a loincloth. Dirty, partly naked. Most of them look about in the same condition. And they all look slightly different, but they all have very animalistic and humanoid features as they then turn and dart back into the forest about 15 feet further up. As they move forward, you can hear them sort of almost like they're arguing in really broken common. Adok, you've probably a memory sort of comes to you. They seem familiar to you. It's really hazy still, but you think that you remember, and you think, and then a word comes to your mind: mongrel. Mongrel folk. Harmless, but can be really dangerous if you corner them or scare them.
Nobody move. It's mongrel folk.
And Ismark, his ears prick up when he sees it, and he goes, "Ah, yes, of course. These poor creatures, they must be from the monastery. Yeah, there is a monastery in a place called Kresk. These creatures were an experiment and have been looked after there, I think. Maybe they have run away. They're quite insane. Generally not dangerous, but formidable none, I guess. If you do happen upon them again, do not approach. Probably not best to either try to talk to them either. They may try and eat you, for want of a better term.
I think we'd be quite alright. This group just befriends things that does stuff like that.
Oh, they're quite mad. I'm not sure you would make friends with these ones.
We did with Carnos.
Good one, little one. That's very good. I see what you did there. And as Mark looks to make sure that the mongrel folk have indeed gone, and you still hear them, they're almost like laughing like hyenas as they run off into the trees, high-pitched, shrill voices, and you can even now you get the feeling that they are really just nuts. Just they would think of the Tasmanian devil with the way they were moving. They were erratic, sidestepping sort of as a group individually, and then with the cackling and the voices. A little unnerving for those that have never seen them before. I say Adok you would have been relatively shocked to begin with, and then that memory sort of come back and think, oh shit, that's right. Should be okay, don't move. Still a little nerve-wracking nonetheless. No worries. And with that, after a time, Ismark says, we should be okay to keep going. Mirabelle.
I think at this point I'd probably be halfway up Carnos's leg because I'm that scared.
Well, yeah, Mirabelle's never seen anything like these before. Again, you've never been outside of your village apart from the couple of weeks that you've travelled from your village to the inn where you happen to happen across the new companions. So it is not unlikely that you would be rather upset.
Why are you so afraid, little one?
Those things look like they might want to eat us.
It's funny because when Adult came running out of the forestry, you pretty much just said, "Hey, come here, have a hug." So I was just curious: what is the difference here?
I could understand him, and he's little like me, but these things look scary. They've got big teeth.
They actually look scared and they ran away. I feel like they would be less harmful.
Yeah, you can hear that, by the way.
And for one, by the way, I actually look a lot better than whatever the fuck those things are. Right?
I cannot disagree with you there. Your teeth are much sharper, however.
Oh, Carnos, I think you actually dropped a water skin back there, by the way.
Roll a wisdom save, Carnos.
Carnos just grins at Adok, though. Wisdom, that's right up there for me. Yep, that's a 4.
Even though you grin and get the joke, you still check.
I was grinning at him because I was actually making a joke at him.
Yeah. But when he says that, you check and think, shit, did I? And you check to make sure that you have everything that you have.
Yeah, man. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent, I'm good.
And you all see him visibly stop mid-sentence and check to make sure that he hasn't dropped anything important. Zadriel.
Zadriel is listening to this and just pulls out her water flask. There's no water, and she takes a sip out of the one, and she takes a huge gulp out of the second one, same one. It just keeps walking.
No. Even amounts, Zedriel. Even amounts to keep your balance.
To keep my balance.
Oh, nasty. This group is nasty. I don't know if you guys are going to survive very long, eh? Mirabelle.
I just now leave.
Speak up.
And go and try and catch up with, or go over to where Adok and Fibblestib are.
Move your microphone a little closer. I think we might be a bit far away. And with that, you continue on towards the township of Valaki. Oh, wow. What is that one? What is that letter? Is that a B or what? I'm trying to think what that is. My map is not very good. I'm pretty sure it's a B, but I'm not sure. DM's maps, man. Just gotta have a look here.
While he's looking, Zadriel, the monastery that Ismark mentioned, do you know much about monasteries?
My specific deity is more of a forest kind of thing, so not too much.
What about you, Skathis? Do you know anything about monasteries?
Jay. Duh.
Just the one I grew up in.
Right, if these things are made in the monastery, does that make... I thought monasteries were places of good and worship and praise. I don't understand. Ismark, Skathis, is this a normal thing?
I think the monastery is actually looking after them.
And Ismark does confirm that. He says, yes, I believe the monastery at Kresk is trying to aid these small folk. They escaped, I believe, and are being looked after there.
Oh, right. That makes more sense, yeah.
As I say, the monastery is kind of like asylum of sorts, trying to help them recover.
What's an asylum?
It's this place where someone who is not of right mind goes to get better.
I look at Carnos and wink.
I knew it.
Wow. You guys.
Poor Carnos.
He does not mind.
You then, as you keep going, you're continuing along the road here. You come to another fork in the road. One fork leads back towards the east, and Ismark says, this road here leads to the castle. We must not linger here very long. But please follow. And he then turns left down the other road, which he says, this will lead us to Valaki. And there is an old sign which is hanging down it's pointing still in the same direction, but it's hanging almost like it's hanging on one nail, which does say, it says Valaki / Old Bone Grinder on it.
Is that the windmill we've been looking for?
Who are you asking?
I think that's the windmill we own.
I was just asking in general, but it's just if that's a DM question. Is that the windmill that we've been looking for?
Well, up here with your group, someone might remember.
Does anybody remember?
I'm going to say, no, it's the one that we own. And I pull out the deed.
Yes, indeed. Fibblestib has the deed to a windmill called the Old Bone Grinder.
We need to go and check that out, though, don't we, really?
Well, apparently it's along the way.
Sweet. Hopefully we can stop and have a look on the way. And I look at Ismark and say, would that be alright?
Why do you need to go to the old mill?
I don't know, I just have this thing where I think we need to go and look at it. I can't actually remember the exact details, but there's a reason.
Okay, sure, we can check it out along the way, but we must not linger very long. As I say, it is, we are probably, it's hard to tell the time of day, but I would say it is early afternoon. We do not, again, I cannot stress enough, we cannot be outside of Valaki when the sun goes down.
Would it be better to go to Valaki first, because obviously we need to get Ireena there, and then we can have a look at it a little bit later, maybe in a couple of days?
Well, you know, I can show you where it is if you wish to go back there at another time. And we can stop there if you wish, but as long as we do not linger.
Oh, okay, that would be awesome. Thank you.
And with that, you keep moving. You come to a bend in the road, which then heads back into the trees. It's only a small patch of trees. Takes you only a few minutes, maybe 10-15 minutes to break through the tree line again, and more open grounds, hills to the south, a few small hills and that to the north and of the road, and the road then twists, it's small twists and turns, sort of south and then back to north, and then you come to another small dirt road which leads off to the west, and Ismark stops and says to all of you, said, well, this, as you can see, and as you look up towards the west, as the road snakes up the hill a little bit, and just on a small hill looking over the road is an old windmill. The sails are still there, but torn and wholly. It does spin softly in the slight breeze that has been blowing this day, but it definitely looks old and abandoned. What are you guys going to do?
I feel like we should see if there's anything inside.
Ismark is quite determined to get to our destination before nightfall. How long have we got, Ismark?
I say probably 3 or 4 hours before the sun goes down. So we have a little time, but not much. Another hour and a half to Valaki. So we cannot linger here long.
Fibble, Adok, you are the math minds. Is that enough time to search this place, as Adriel suggests, and still get to our destination?
I say we come back.
I'm a Fibble.
I'm with them as well.
Okay.
It is decided then. Lead the way, Ismark. Sorry, ladies Adriel, the mathematicians have spoken.
So we are going to come. You're going to come back at a later time. Yes. Good. Let's keep traveling then. And he turns and you keep walking, heading again back to the north as the road snakes around the edges of another forested area thick with mist. Often towards the east you see more thick mist hanging around the hills and plains of this area. You then come to a sweeping western turn in the road, and after probably another half hour you a break in the trees. As you look north, you spy a large lake. Interesting looking lake when I find it on my map. There is a large mountainous region to the north. Norwich Trash. At the foot of the mountain, nestled within the misty forest, is a large lake. The water is perfectly still and dark, reflecting the black, ominous clouds overhead. It's kind of an eerie feeling to see this large body of water, not really a ripple at all on its surface, very glassy, and it reflects the ominous sky, not unlike a dark mirror. And Ismark sort of says, the lake Zarowicz, after him, of course. 'Tis his land, after all. And he says, come, it's keep traveling. We're not far now. And as you continue down this road, you do indeed see the high walls of a town as you approach. The old road slowly meanders into a valley watched over by dark brooding mountains to the north and to the south. The woods recede, revealing a sullen mountain berg surrounded by a large wooden palisade. The thick fog presses up against the wall and surrounds you as you move closer to it. Hoping to spy something familiar, Ismark sort of looks around, making sure that you guys are still alone. The dirt road ends suddenly as you approach. You see a set of sturdy iron gates with a pair of shadowy figures standing behind. Planted in the ground, flanking the road outside the gates, half a dozen pikes with wolves' heads impaled on them. So you guys are about probably 30 or 40 feet from the gate. Emilia, all of you see the pikes on the road, either side of the road with wolves' heads. Some older, some new, but they're all decapitated, bloody stumps. Emilia.
Emilia is going to reach into her cloak and pull off her mask.
Okay.
Pull down her mask.
Pull down your hood, so it's still
cloak.
covering your face as much as it can.
Stuff the wolf's head into her robes.
Noted. Adok.
Yeah, Adok would have been halfway. Noticing the wolf heads, probably would have said, looks like I'm not going to be the one who's got the Holy shit, is that what Emilia looks like?
Ismark chuckles a little bit, as does Ireena for the first time. It's the first time you sort of heard her say sort of anything. And, yeah. Ismark then turns and see that Emily's removed the mask and the cloak is down over your face, still hiding your face. And he says to you, he nods and says, probably a good idea. As I say, if you allow me to do the talking to start, we will approach. Just one moment. And he walks up, traverses the 30 feet between you and the gates, and you can see him talking to the figures behind the gate. Can't hear what he's saying. But he, after some time, probably 10 minutes or so, he returns and says, they will allow my sister and I to enter. We are known here, so we should not have any problem. But you are to present yourselves at the gate for, I hate to say it, but interrogation, before they will allow you into the town. But please be mindful. If you are not allowed into the town, you'll be stuck out here for the night, which is not a good idea. And is at this point, Mirabelle, before we carry on, yes? No?
No, sorry. Okay.
No? Where you go?
Oh, no, I was just going to say I'd just rock up to the gate. And say hello.
Before you get to the gate, however, it was at this point, from the forested area to one side of where you are currently standing, a man backs out of the forest with bloodied hands and a wolf's head in his hand, sort of staggers backward. Finely dressed man. And he sort of stumbles out and then drops the wolf's head on the ground and sort of looks at his hands, looks back at the forest, looks at his hands, looks back at the forest, and sort of standing and then grabs something out of a small satchel that he's got and starts wiping his hands off. What are you guys doing?
Is anybody else seeing that, or is that just me?
I'm at this point definitely walking towards the gate, going, hello. That's not very nice.
Carnos, I believe this is your area of expertise.
Carnos sees this. So can you just? What exactly was that guy doing?
He just stumbled backwards out of the forest and had a wolf's head in his hand. So looking back at it, sort of drops it at his feet, and then sort of brushes off his hand, grabs a rag or something out of his bag and starts wiping off his hands and sort of looking back at the forest. Hasn't really noticed you guys at this point.
I think he's just dealt with a wolf. We want to head into the town. I think it is good. It's good. We can carry on, right?
Emilia.
Out of characteristically out of character for Emilia. She's going to move towards the man with the blood on his hands, stand next to him, and say, "You're right, sir. Have you been attacked?" Holding her staff out in front of her.
Excuse me. Just one moment. And he brushed off his hand. I'm fine. Of course, the wolf is not as good as me. And he stands up very tall. And now, as you are closer to him, Emilia, and I'd say Mirabelle's probably just about as close as well, you see a very tall man, probably roughly 5'11", 6 foot tall, short, dark cropped hair. He's wearing a dark grey leather coat, which comes down to about knee height. It's in fact, I'll show you guys what this man looks like. If you just bear with me for one moment, we will do that when I find my map reference button. Scenes, yoink. So that is the man that you see. He is dark-haired, clean-shaven, wearing high leather, look like riding-style boots, leather satchel. He's got a long sword on his left hip, and on his right is a dagger. And I say very, very handsome man, probably in his mid-20s. And with that, it turns to then finally to you, Emilia, and Mirabelle, despise you, bows deeply to you both. He says, "Allow me to introduce myself. I am Vasily. I am a nobleman here in Valaki. It appears that some of my friends challenged me to spend night in the forest. Clearly, I won the bet because I am still here, and I have a wolf, and they will owe me 100 gold for this. It was a drunken bet. Probably not the best choice I've made, but I'm still here." Mirabelle.
At that, I curtsy and say, "Well, nice to meet you, sir." And then I kind of walk over with Carlos's water skin. I'm like, "Can I just offer you a bit of water to get rid of that blood?"
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. It's just a little blood. Not to worry. But what brings you fine folk to Valaki this day?
We came with I'm having a total brain drain with Ireena and Ismark to help, just to be some companions for them on their way here, just to get them here.
Well, that's very kind of you. Not often the strangers here are so helpful.
Oh, we do our best. We're a pretty friendly wee bunch, and I look over at Karnoth, and I give him the stink eye.
Karnoth just claps and says, "Hey, well done on that hunt. You have done very well, my kind sir. Nice to meet you."
Likewise. But, so you wish to gain entry into Valaki, I assume. Allow me. And he sort of turns on his heels and raises a hand, very noble-like. I say he holds himself very, very well, and waves you forward as he approaches the gate. And you hear him then say, "Open the gate. Allow my friends to enter. You do not need to see their credentials or whatever it is you wish to do. You know who I am. Open the gate." And after what seems like maybe 2 or 3 minutes, the gates swing open. Loud creaking hinges as they swing inwards towards the town. And you see the two guards there with pikes, not spears, so a lot longer weapon. And you, looking at the way the gate is made with holes in the gate, you get the impression that these pikes were designed to attack through the gate at anyone trying to breach. They have the reach to get through and attack things from the outside. So as you enter, do you follow him as he turns and says, "Please follow me. Let me give you a tour of my town."
I certainly do, because I think he's a bit nice looking.
Emily is going to pick up the wolf's head and put it in his hands and say, "Here you go, sir," and make sure she touches his hand.
Yep.
And say, "Why are all the men in this country so pretty?" Oh, not pretty, handsome. Handsome is the word I'm looking for.
And he looks at you and bows with respect and well, thank you all. I almost forgot my price. Of course, it's good breeding. Not all of us are as handsome as I, however. And he gives you a sly wink. And turns and heads towards the city, towards town. Do you follow, Adok?
I believe Zadriel was going to say something.
Go
Anybody?
ahead first.
Anybody at all?
As everyone's like headed in, I'm going to go, "Oh, are we really going to follow the bloke who just walked out the woods with bloody hands and a wolf's head? Like, you all fucking insane, really?"
And you're willing to stay outside and not follow the guy in that walked out of the forest with a wolf's head.
And
What?
he then turns at this
Who's the
point
insane
and walks
one?
right up to you, Adok. He's overheard you. He's turned and walked right up to you. He says, "Small one, please. Would you prefer to be out there with the wolf or in here where it's safe?" And he turns and looks at you and says, "No wolf will breach these walls or these gates. We are quite safe here. Rest assured."
Well, that wins me over. All right, lead away.
He's very, and again, he's very charming. He's well spoken. He is confident, and then again, once again, turns and strolls into town holding this wolf's head. The guards sort of, you see them bow as he walks in. They don't bow like fully, but bow their heads in recognition of his station. You turn as the gates then are slowly closed and re-barred behind you. Large iron bar put across, and you see a giant lock on there. And you see one of the guards pulls out a large key. Like the key's like almost half a foot long, big iron key, and both of them turn it and lock this gate behind you. You are now faced with, should I say, you are now standing in the town of Valaki. When I find my map, where's my map?
It's while you find your map.
There it is.
Carlos would lean over to Fibbleston and go, I really like this guy, Fibblestib. He seems quite heroic and quite upstanding. I wonder if we can get him to join our group.
Sadriel's like smoothing her hair and dusting off her armor and like putting on her best Azamar smile, you know? Yeah.
And he reminds me a lot of me, Mr. Stib.
How so?
Skatus raises an eyebrow.
The way he valiantly came out of the forest with the wolf's head, the trophy, willing to do what his others would not. I see it as a great...
And great frozen. Hopefully he's going to be back. Hopefully his internet hasn't crashed. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
I think his internet might have crashed. No!
Oh, there you are.
Oh, he's back. Try
I don't
again.
know what's going on tonight. It's worse than last time.
You
I
see,
said, a man of great heroism. We should probably stick by him.
And at this point, he then turns to one of the guards and says, "Here, take this to the inn. Tell the men, tell my friends, the hunters, that I have succeeded and they owe me plenty gold. I will see them there later. Firstly, I must show my friends around." And he then turns back to and says, "Here, the great city of Valaki. This gate we call the Sunset Gate because it faces the west and the sunset, of course. No imagination, but it works. We have 2 other gates to the town, city town. Argument. I say city. People say town. I like it as a city. We have the northern gate, which is called the Zarovich Gate because or the gate to the Great Lake, because it leads to the lake, of course. And the eastern gate is known as the Morning Gate. Some of the people here call it the Morning Gate, as in, but it is in the east where the sun rises, so called Morning Gate. If you would follow me, we will take you to my favorite drinking hole, the Blue Water Inn. Yes, follow, please.
Actually, Carnos, I'm starting to see it.
Mr. Stib, I like you more and more every day.
So as you do you follow Vasily as he starts heading down what looks like a kind of a main road through the centre of town. Either side, as he sort of points left and right, sort of talking to you guys about the different buildings and different areas. And you can see that there's a series of houses along the right-hand side. Some of them look abandoned. Not all. I mean, there are nowhere near as bad as Barovia, but there are still some abandoned homes here. You can see wisps of smoke coming from some of the larger buildings. There is, and it's not a small town. This is why he probably calls it a city. It's not small. It's not huge by any standards. It's no Waterdeep, or it's no Daggerford or anything like that, but it is a sizable settlement. You guys wish to discuss anything as you walk towards follow Vasily towards the inn?
No, Mirabelle's just following him like a lovesick puppy.
I'm gonna go, Vasily, where's your blacksmith?
Blacksmith, you are fine. You are a blacksmith yourself, yes?
Something like that, yes.
We have a fine blacksmith in town. He's on the other side of town, of course, but I'll show you later if you wish.
Okay, that'll be good.
Anybody else?
Emily is following like a lovesick puppy as well.
As you pass the first area, it says, this area here is, we call it Arasek, the stockyard. Do you know what stockyard is? Yes? No? It is lots of sheds where we keep animals, as such, I guess, and other things. It's like a storage of sorts. To keep, they can be rented, of course. You can rent a storage shed. You can put animals. You can put your treasure. It is safe. Good place. It's a general store. You talk about blacksmith. You can buy things here too. Not a blacksmith, but a general store as well over there. You can buy supplies and items if you wish. I mean, I assume you are travelers and adventurers. We see a few here from time to time. Yes.
Oh yes, we're really well-known adventurers actually, and we're quite this. Aren't we, Carnos? You're quite this.
Maybe I've heard of you. What do you call yourselves?
Yes, Zadriel. What do we call ourselves?
How do you spell that again, Carnos? Like,
You see, what my friend Zadriel here is trying to say is that we are just a new group together, but I myself have had a few adventures in the past, and we have come here to make a bit more of a name for ourselves. Actually, we have to make a name, don't we, Zadriel?
yeah, a little bit.
I see. So, I probably have not heard of you, but I guess you would make a name for yourself while you stay in Barovia.
Well, Mr. Vasily, I am Carnos Lurth, and you may have heard of me. I've had some dealings in the past with some great adventurers. I've been out with, the great dwarf Gundrock. You wouldn't have heard of him?
I cannot say I have. I have not traveled much out of Barovia myself, but I am a nobleman here in Valaki, and I am well known here, as you have seen with my influence at the gate. But I'm sure I will hear more of your adventures while you are here in my homeland.
Excellent. You shall. Later on, if we get a few drinks, I will quite happily tell you of some of our adventures.
Of course, of course. With that, he then continues on. You see Ismark and Ireena, they've sort of dropped back a little bit from him. It's not like they're suspicious of him or anything. They've dropped back to allow him to show the way. He turns to Ismark and Ireena and says, "And you, I recognize you have been here before. You had come back. You come to stay. You're visiting." And Ismark says, "Yes, of course, we are here. I bring my sister to Valaki for safety. Walls, gates. We are planning to stay at the Blue Water, so please, lead on." "Of course. Follow me." And he then brings you to what looks like a town square. The shops and homes that enclose the town square are decorated with what looks like limp, tattered garlands and painted wooden boxes filled with tiny dead flowers. At the north end of the square stands a row of stocks, locked in which are several men and women and children wearing crude plaster donkey heads. In the centre of the square, peasants in patchwork clothes eye you suspiciously as they use cups and vases to draw water from the crumbling stone fountain. Standing tall at the centre of the fountain is a grey statue of an impressive man facing west. All around the square are posted proclamations. If you manage to stop and have a look at this, they're quite big, so you can definitely read them from as you pass by. "Come one, come all, to the greatest celebration of the year, the Wolf's Head Jamboree. Attendants and children required. Pikes will be provided. All will be well," in capitals. Signed at the bottom, "The Baron." It is at this point you then see another gentleman approaching, looking at this particular proclamation. He is a tall, bald-headed gentleman wearing a thick furred cloak that runs almost down past his knees at the back, carrying a large battle axe. And he's with him is a couple of guard. He looks at one of the proclamations, pulls it down with a jerk, ripping part of it, and says, "You overhear him saying, 'Get rid of these. These are old. Put new ones up.'" New festival starts. 3 days. Quick, get to it. And the guards jump to it and they start pulling the other ones down. They post another one up as you stand there looking at the stocks and these. And the new one reads, come one, come all, to the greatest celebration of the year, the Festival of the Blazing Sun, in capitals. Attendants and children required. Rain or shine, all will be well, in caps. Again, signed the Baron. And with that, Vasily turns to you and says to you all, pay no attention to them. Many festivals here. This is just the next one in so many. Every week, every 2 weeks, the Baron is a stupid man. He believes that all these festivals will keep everybody safe. But the walls will keep people safe, not the festival. So, to the end. And that is where we will end tonight's session, as Vasily is leading you all to the Blue Water Inn. And welcome chat. We will end our session there tonight, ladies and germs. Well done chat and well done players tonight. You have handled tonight's session very well. Small encounter, which went quite well, I reckon. It wasn't too bad. No one died yet. But as always, what we will do in the end of our session here tonight, guys, we're going to go around our players and outstanding or memorable moments in tonight's session, roleplay, combat, whatever, story, doesn't matter what it is, there's something that stood out to you. So we'll start with no particular order. Adok, aka Cameron, a standout moment for you tonight, sir.
I actually liked Karnos trying to be polite and nice, and I think that role-playing there, then everyone just immediately shitting on him. That was just...
Karnos can't get a break, can he? I mean,
poor dude.
I love it.
I think everyone's made up their mind about him a little bit, which is cool. It's funny. That's it for you? Just that one moment? Anything else?
Yeah, that was pretty much the standout one for me. Yeah.
Awesome. Donald, aka Skathis, the silent one.
Fibblestive and
Adok.
the mathematical
yes.
progress.
The equation off. Pythagoras versus Fibblestive. That was pretty good. Anything else, Trash, or that pretty much it for you as well?
Yeah, that was pretty much it.
Michelle, aka Zadriel.
Oh my gosh, my brain just...
Your brain just exploded.
As soon as you said my name. Oh, Karnos' theory on balance was very funny.
That was.
I liked it.
That was pretty good. Fibblestive, aka Mr. Picker.
When Adok had his brown moment behind Karnos. Karnos comparing himself to the noble. That was a little bit on the funny side, in my opinion. And when Drax made the seat for himself during the middle of the fight, I'm sitting there going, I actually did want to set my rifle across his leg and fire from there.
Well, you should have. I mean, that's the sort of stuff that I love. That sort of stuff. Any kind of flavor, just do it. I mean, if it'll work or it won't. I mean, it's the thing. It's D&D, man. If it doesn't work, we'll make a dice roll. I mean, let the dice decide in the end.
Been a couple of good moments.
It's been some good ones tonight. Robert, aka the Shady Emilia.
Yo, that whole shady thing. It would be nice if you guys just left me alone.
The world of D&D, my dude. Nothing ever goes as you plan it.
Don't split the party.
There was one thing I picked up about that, but since I can use that later, I won't bother telling you about that. But
That's what I like to see. Secretive planning.
Yeah. So there's definitely that, which wasn't supposed to go on as long as it did, but since people wouldn't leave me alone.
Anything else?
There's something someone else said, and that I can't remember now.
Well, if you remember it, we'll come back to you. But Night Hot, Mirabelle.
For me, it was definitely when Zadriel went up to Karnos and was like, "Have I put you out? Is that a bit sore?"
Oh, it's the tapping of the sore spot, sore burnt spot.
Yeah, it really got me. I was just like, ooh. But then also Karnos being really, really nice to Mirabelle when she wasn't very well. That was pretty cool.
He's got his moments. I mean, he's not a bad dude. I mean, seriously, Emilia, you remembered.
Yeah, that was the other thing. Is what do you call him? Mirabelle given one of Karnos's water flask right after he said having two to make everything even. So he's given one of them away. So he's now no longer even.
Yes and no. He moved his flask to balance himself up a little bit. So, but
Yeah,
that is a point to make though. Karnos, aka Bay, is.
They can take from that even thing what they like. Glad you left me to last because I always have heaps.
Yeah.
The first one was Mirabelle's Wayward Flaming Spell. That I thought everyone might grab onto that one. I thought it was good that the tree creature escaped. That's something that doesn't often happen. Usually they either beat you to death or you beat them to death. No one normally escapes, but he kind of took a few hits and then ran off. I thought that was cool. Fibblestib standout moment for me that you trust one, maybe two, or three, or maybe two. I thought that was cool. And Zadriel probably I had the laugh out loud. That's probably the one laugh out loud moment I had in most of these games. And that is, you're all dickheads.
Yes.
Over
definitely.
the weight discussion. That was fucking awesome. I just about wet myself silly. And then Amelia's just the shape water healing, just creativity with that shape water and shape mud again. But it takes the cake for me, and I know I always have heaps, but I always write this down. Is how hypocritical this team is. So hypocritical this team is. I cannot believe it. The way they are so judgmental of one character and not of another, and I can't help but feel like the players can't make up their fucking minds. Oh, look, a goblin comes out of the forest. Let's all make friends with it because we know it's a player. Oh, hang on. These creatures are running out of the forest. Let's be scared and run away. What the fuck, people? Karnos is going to start stabbing everyone, I think. No, I just can't. It cracks me up how they just have gone on that one, taking this one path.
I get it.
Karnos is wrong no matter what.
Yeah, I've been taking note of that myself as well.
It's fine, it doesn't matter. It's all good.
Also, too, chat, if any standout moments from the chat, put them in the chat, guys. Would love to see them. Just quickly before I go through what my thing. Did we just lose video, or is that just me? I think it might be just me. Just me. So make sure in chat, make sure you put in your moments as well. I'll call some out if we get some decent ones. But just quickly, I want to call out Error Code with the raid, 32 viewer raid about half hour ago, and Woodward Games with a raid as well, 6 viewers. JJ Beats with a follow. We had JMA1211 with a follow as well. Book of Shadows followed. We've got Doc Engage with a follow as well. Voivode with a host also earlier. And Piper with a 10-bit cheer as well. And so that's pretty awesome. And CMDR with a follow right at the very start. And of course, Trashman with the resub. Appreciate it very much, guys. Support is very awesome. Good to see you, Era. Was hanging out with you guys in Magic stream last night. Good to see you guys pop over and check us out. So tonight for me, standout roleplay. I think all you guys are doing so well with your characters. Mirabelle with the Wayward Fire spell, definitely not being very clear about where she was standing, just walking forward and blasting with a burning hands with a 15-foot cone. I kind of think that she would definitely do that without really thinking too much, because that's kind of her character, which is really kind of cool. She will learn by these mistakes, I'm sure. One would hope. Possibly not. Yes, then the interaction between Mirabelle, Emilia, and Zadriel in the forest, with them following her and not leaving her alone, definitely shows that the group is starting to form a few minor bonds, even though there might be minor bonds, not letting anyone sort of run off on their own. Knowing full well this area is very dangerous, even though they haven't really seen much as far as action's concerned. Obviously heeding some of the warnings that Adok's been spitting out from time to time, and obviously Ismark and offering some warnings as well. Also too, yes, definitely Adok and Fibblestib, the two artificers in the group, and their intellect has been a high point for me. Some of the conversations has been brilliant, and the mathematical battle was no exception. And yes, this whole hypocritical stuff going on with Karnos is, Karnos has not really been nasty to anyone except for Adok at this point, realistically. He's being very honest, at the very least, and you guys are just giving him such a hard time. I honestly, I can see possibly something happen in the future where Karnos may snap and kill someone. So I'm really looking forward to that possibility.
Oh, geez, that sounds rough.
Well, who knows? I mean, he might just break mentally. I mean, you don't know. And you guys don't know each other's backgrounds too much. So you guys got no idea what you're playing with. That's the joy of this. You got no idea what anyone's about, what they're going to do or not do. I think that's, again, fun at D&D. Not knowing those things and just playing the characters as you think they should be played. And consequences be damned. But another great session, guys. We are going to go hey milestone Valaki level 4, so you guys can all level up level 4 at this stage. So that will be a milestone level. You can roll if you want to leave rolling your HP till next session. We can do that start of next session, or you can do it away and come back and we just start fresh in. It's up to you guys. You guys make the call there. We can do it live on stream, or we can do it off stream, and we can add those up later on. Robert, if you have any issues with leveling up, let me know. We'll get you on Discord or something throughout the week and talk you through it.
Yeah, I was going to say that I'll probably need to ask how to do that.
Yeah, well, we'll talk you through it on Discord throughout the week, man, before we do the next session.
Sure it is.
Stidley come up, hiding behind Karnos, instantly runs away when the tree moves. Forgot about that. Oh, yeah, Adok. That was pretty funny. So yeah, it was awesome. Everything's been pretty cool. So I'll run through your level up, Robert, with you at some point through the week. Everyone else do your level up. Adok, you don't unfortunately get to level up because you're already up there. So we'll keep you as you are for the time being. And we will look at passing on the love to someone else, because we got raided. We will pass on a raid to someone else. So don't forget, guys, you have your channel points too. So those of you new to the channel, or old people to the channel, you do have channel points, the gold coin at the bottom of the chat bar. You are able to give one of the players a inspiration or a luck. Grim Reality is gifting a tier 1 sub to Aircode. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Dropping the sub there. Awesome. Cheers, Grim. So your channel points, if you click on that gold coin, it'll give you a series of options. You can highlight a message, choose an emote, or unlock a random sub emote. You can do a posture check, or you can give a luck or an inspiration. You can guide the raid also with 20,000. For 25,000, you can name a NPC in the homebrew campaign, which we've had a couple or 3 already, so which is really cool. But don't forget that is there for you guys. So make sure that you are saving your points for your players. Choose a player, hit the button, state in the chat which player you're giving luck or inspiration to, and they will get either a reroll or a D10 to check or a save, which will potentially help them further down the campaign. That's for both campaigns, so that's for Homebrew and this campaign as well. You can also give that inspiration and luck to the DM. What is good enough for the players is good enough for my monsters. So bear that in mind. These guys are awesome role players. They're awesome people. For those of you that don't really know us too well, Nutty is my partner. Drax is a very good friend. I've known him for a long time. Baz, aka Carnos over there, is my younger brother. So I've known him for quite a while, obviously. Michelle and Adam and Donald, you guys have been good long-time friends, been playing games with them for a while. Michelle and Adam have came on board when I was streaming, gaming a lot, and been hanging out with them, and we brought them into the whole D&D thing and thoroughly enjoying it. Awesome people. Michelle streams as well, so make sure you check out Yanti1. If we can get a shout out for Yanti, that would be awesome. She is pushing for affiliateship. She's 12 more follows to get her affiliate qualification. So she's only 12 follows away, so make sure you go hit her up with a follow. Cameron up there as well, aka Roasted Chicken, or Roast Chicken as he is now. Roastin' Chicken, sorry, gotta get that right. Lost Chapters. If you're looking for some more awesome D&D roleplay and some really cool content, check out the Lost Chapters. Also, Lost Chapters. They do 3 campaigns currently. They've got Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights. So definitely go check those guys out. Make sure you go check out, obviously, Woodward Games and Error Code as well. Dropping the raid on us. Definitely go support them. Let's find out who is online in the D&D world. There's obviously us there at the very top. Then we've got, they've been running for an hour and 16. I Speak Giant, Fear and Loathing in Avernus. Interesting. Sneaky Sneaklings. Right, they're an Aussie crew. I think we've rated them before. Sheriff Dan. He's been running for an hour and a half.
Sheriff Dan.
I think I'll go check out Sheriff Dan, yeah. Captain Dan.
I just like the name.
Yeah, Captain Dan. You got legs.
You got legs.
These guys look like they're doing, what are they doing? They're doing Water Deep Dragon Heists. It's like episode 5. We'll go raid them. So we're going to raid Sheriff Dan. And we're going to raid him for this. So guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Appreciate it. We're going to end the session there. And we will see you on Sunday for the next episode of the Homebrew campaign. Where things are starting to heat up a little bit there with getting towards the end of that campaign. So make sure you go check that out. If you're not caught up with it, go check it out on YouTube. All the VODs are available there, and they get uploaded every couple of days after every session is aired live. So until then, everyone take care. We'll see you again next time.